America invaded the country without having an exit plan.
This like reminds me of like,
fuck
oh, sorry. This reminds me of like my mentality when my family was super poor. Where it's like, well, we're poor either way, so it doesn't really matter if we budget. It's like, well, it's gonna be shitty either way, so we can just pull out. It's like, well, no, it's much worse to pull out in a way that makes the actual people that live there, their lives going forward worse than it is for us to pull out in a way that takes a little bit fucking longer. We've been there for 20 years. What's one more fucking year?
Does anyone know that there was no plan? No, 100% that there was no plan to pull out ever. Do you know that, or are you just saying because it didn't go well?
Just look at every president ever. Everyone's been fighting over it.
Actually,
no one's taking up.
You know what? I will say I don't know your name because I'm bad at pinning.
My name is Brento on bots on Twitch. Don't worry about it.
I don't know that. So that was a really good point you just brought up. I don't know that.
We'll go to Smitty.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fine.
We'll go to Smitty, but like just now, just before we do that, just now, I've had the question, and something I should have asked like a year ago. Hey, Brento, is your real name Brent?
It might be. It might be my real name.
I've really not thought about that like the entire time, but okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for being here, buddy. All right, let's go to Smitty.
Okay, so I think the part of the thing is that every president just relied on the next president to figure out what the next pullout plan was. I didn't think we would be here this long, but I think every president just kind of push it on to the next, 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 and here we are.
But there's a fun calculus and all that, right? Because at the end of a term, we have a known input going into the next term, and it's up to the incoming president to say, this is what I've got, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do. And that's where Biden has failed miserably, and the entire world is on that stage and watching.
Compared to what? Like compared to like a flawless exit, you know?
Okay, wait, stop. Okay, I'm just throwing darts at the board. Maybe we shouldn't have left Bagram Air Base in literally one day. Maybe we shouldn't have left. Maybe we shouldn't have left fucking helicopters sitting out there like fucking GTA, GTA, fucking
Homeland Security.
Hey, we were supposed to have a government there. Remember, we had to set up a government. They had 300,000 troops.
They would have had a much easier time,
and they disappeared. And we had to get the fuck out of there. I mean, that's what happened.
Hold on. So number one, the reason the Air Force was all contractors, which is a massive fucking mistake. But again, we would have had to have more troops in there when people didn't want to have troops in the 2011, 2012, 2013 era. If I was advocating in 2012 for fucking bringing more troops in Afghanistan, I would have been called a neocon. Okay, like there are so many things that we could have done. I'm sorry, we did when we pulled out of when we pulled out, we could have destroyed or at least disabled further the different a wide variety. Honestly, people are obviously sending pictures of Taliban people playing like, you know, I'm king of the castle, sitting in like a fucking Black Ops helicopter. But truth of it is that they're not gonna be able to fucking fly that shit. They don't have the fuel, they don't have the technology. But the truth of it is, there's a lot of fucking guns. There's guns and there's fucking mines and there's horrible shit that are just fucking sitting there, right? All of these things could have been done. When you exasperate and say, oh well, what could have been done? We could have.
No, he's right. Is he wrong?
Kobe.
Okay, stop. Obviously, the fucking deep state demon ghouls that do satanic rituals in the fucking Pentagon understand Afghanistan more than fucking I do. Okay, but the truth of it is that the reason that they didn't do these easy things was because this was not done with strategic incentive. This was done with political incentive. This was Trump wagging his fucking dick, using the power of the fucking executive like he did in all of the other things, try to do things. And this happened to be one of the fucking things, one of the swings against the wall that he broke through.
Well, that's why that's part of why the media hated him, because he was a bull in a china shop, and the china shop is the military-industrial complex.
Why would the media hate that? Media loves bulls in a china shop.
And then
you're so stupid. Yes, exactly. The bull in a china shop.
Like a broken clock, he was right twice a day.
Twice a day. Name two things he was right about.
Donald Trump. That's the Trump era for you. And then Biden took that up and he got us out of there because we don't have any national security interests there. And we've been there. It was a quagmire from the beginning. I fucking protested the Afghan war and I protested the Iraq war. I was against those things, and we said at the time it would be a quagmire. What the fuck do you think a quagmire looks like? We said it was going to be like Vietnam. What do you think fucking Vietnam looks
King,
like?
I've got a question for you.
All right.
When did Biden take the oath of office?
I don't know. Whenever the bullshit settled down.
Okay, and what month is it right now?
Yeah,
Took it in January.
No, let him answer the question.
Well, that's
it's
it.
my birthday month. It's my birthday month.
So Biden has between January sometime versus August of sometime to say, hey, we're going to be extracting our forces from Afghanistan. What should we do? He's got 8 months.
He does it. He takes them out and look at the shitstorm. Look at all the hissy fitting from all these, from Richard Engel and all these people who are bedded with the military and all this kind of stuff.
He literally pulled them all out at the drop of a dime and said it was done.
He had to. That's because he had to do that. He had to.
So Biden is an ineffective leader and doesn't know how to actually coordinate a strategic pullout.
I think he's effective.
As an ineffective leader.
His poll numbers are going to go down forever. I think he did the right thing. I think it has the support of the American people, and I think when all this hype boils down, it's going to be all right.
King, do you live in the United States?
That's not his fault. That's the fault of all these people who have perpetuated this quagmire forever.
Does King live in the United States?
Yes, I do.
All right, cool.
So let's go.
William is the best argument against U.S. hegemony. The fact that is the voter base that's fucking making these decisions. Exactly. I'm just saying, like, if I was another country, I'd be like, these people are fucking crazy. Okay.
You should hear his other shit.
Yeah. So what?
Let's go to Smitty. I'm sorry, not Smitty. I apologize. We got new people here. Zero. Apologize.
I think like whoever was gonna go out of Afghanistan is going to lose because it was a losing war from the beginning.
It's not a losing war if you're funding the proper side.
Like, if you're saying like you're gonna convert a country from
you don't have to convert a country.
Okay. Like you're part of a one of the side of the globe, and you're fighting a war on the other side of the globe. You think you have any influence over the other side of the globe? You don't. You're just putting troops there, and you're enforcing your law. And when you leave, they're gonna do what the fuck they want when you leave.
Exactly.
That's basically.
What do you think the Chinese are doing right now?
What the who cares about the Chinese, dude? Anyways, but like,
who cares?
Never definite.
It's a straw man.
Let's if say you go invade.
It's
Sweden.
Not a straw man. It's refuting his points he's making directly.
If you invade Sweden,
it has nothing to do with Afghanistan.
No, but fuck that. If you invade a country on the other side of the fucking globe, where they're mid side of the globe, you're the other side. You're not gonna have an influence there unless you have boots on the ground. When you fucking remove the boots on the ground, people are gonna revolt. That's the fucking history of man, dude. Britain hasn't had control over fucking India. Fucking Netherlands hadn't had control of South Africa, dude. That's the whole fucking history of man. People are gonna revolt, dude. They don't care about the fucking ruling dictators when they leave. Culture rules over force. Culture rules over force.
20 years trying to nation build in Afghanistan.
You're never going to
20 years
build. Your nation
does but American democracy on a tribal
your
country.
American democracy doesn't match with their beliefs.
And we tried to twist them into an American style democracy. And guess what? Their culture is not an American style democracy leaning culture. It's stupid. And that's what we did. And then we pulled out early. We left our assets there. And then we said, hey, you know what? We here we are nation building. Here we are fucking trying to build a government from nothing, from people that don't want us there. And then, we leave before we pull our assets out. We could have taken 3 months before we left, got out all of our assets, got out all the people that we cared about, 6 months maybe, and then pulled our troops out.
So let's everyone. So like, let's get some order here, right? So Jason, sorry, Smitty, Zero. I apologize. But Smitty, we do have some background noise from you. If you could mute yourself, that'd be great. All right, so let's go to Zero. Let's respond. Kobe wants to jump in. Canadian and Arc, right?
But like, it doesn't matter when you pull out. If you pull out 1 month ahead, 3 months ahead, doesn't matter. You're gonna meet another kind of a culture. You're gonna lose soldiers. America doesn't want to lose more soldiers. They want to pull out as fast as possible. People losing their husbands, losing their sons.
We haven't lost a U.S. person in the last 18 months.
Zero. If we
unless it was a private contractor.
If we left 300
Because we
if
made
we left some insane amount of weapons, we could have pulled those out, right? We could have pulled out like a
America
couple
doesn't care about
100,000
those.
AK-47. No. We care because we're talking about it, and it's a problem. It will be a problem in the future. We care.
You care about Joe Biden.
Zero Shark,
Let's
do you
go-
live in the United States?
Let's go to Kobe. Kobe.
Okay, so we
briefly.
shouldn't care what you say about United States politics.
Yeah. All I want to say is
Disagree
great
with
bullshit.
that. That's a stupid.
the idea
Like,
that,
just saying that you don't care because
Kobe, go ahead. Finish your
not
point.
true.
all I want to say was that the idea that Afghanistan is like a quote unquote tribal society and then we can't impose democracy onto them, I think is a bit of a Western centric and cringe narrative. Okay, Afghanistan has had it. Afghanistan has had democratic societies since before, like since in the before times. Okay,
a socialist government in the 70s, and we had a part in that.
Socialism is a big. Socialism is when you have a cog on your symbol and you execute anybody that says it's not socialism. That's what socialism is. So you just
That's
that's
what
what
socialism is.
That's
such
interesting to know.
that's
What a
such
good take.
bullshit take.
I will be
God,
more
God.
than I would be
You
more.
understand Marxism? Have you read any Marx at all?
He absolutely has.
Have you read any Engels?
Have you even read theory, my guy? Have you even done the theory?
So I know what Kobe's about to do. Kobe absolutely has read Marx. He has read all of those things. He's going to show you his books.
I have an annotated Marx Engels reader. I like Marxism. I'm enjoyed. I was being facetious. I do not think that a Soviet-installed puppet government installing Marxist-Leninism is a good example of socialism. If we want to talk about that, we can talk about
Thank you.
a lot of different other things. Okay.
I recant.
Fair enough. All right. Let's go try Canadian, then Ark, and if Brento, if you want to jump in, I don't know. We'll go to you.
I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
So
I'm making points as I hear them, but sure.
Okay, sure.
Oh, okay.
Canadian.
Let's dispel a fiction real quick. Every president since George W. Bush Jr. has said that they were going to get out of Afghanistan. And about 14 months ago, the Donald Trump State Department made a deal with the Taliban to A, organize a ceasefire, and B, get our troops out. So what did Biden do? He followed through on an already existing deal. Because on top of, just being a better person, Biden is much better about following through on the deal than his predecessor was.
What were the terms of the deal?
Shut the fuck up!
What were the terms of the deal?
Okay, you have driven the Canadians to anger, which is nearly impossible. So let Canadian finish. Go ahead, finish your point.
We were supposed to radically reduce the amount of troops that we have in Afghanistan by like a month ago.
What was the Taliban supposed to do?
Hold on. Hey, stop.
Let him speak, man.
Let him get it out. See, stop, please.
The point, and this is a distraction. The point is, this was a deal made by the Trump department, to his credit, that allowed for a small modicum of peace. Choosing to follow through on that deal instead of making a more strategic exit strategy is politic instead of good military intelligence. I think that's the point Kobe was trying to make. But that's it.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Ark, then Brento, then Turk. Okay.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything that you just said. We just simply followed through on Trump's already laid deal. Like, what the fuck was supposed to happen? And I just, that you just basically cock blocked me. So thank you.
All right. Love to hear it. All right, so let's go to Brento and then the Turk.
Sure. I mean, it's hard to think of something to say that hasn't been said and that isn't like kind of pointless. It's like the fact that we left so many weapons, the fact that it's such a clusterfuck, the fact that it happened, that our administration was telling us, well, it won't happen for months, or we don't really know when it's going to happen. Then it happened within a matter of weeks. It's all disastrous, and it looks ridiculous, and it looks like we're completely inept, and it looks like that because that's probably the case. That's the fact, and I think that's what everyone hates, and that's probably the truth, and that's terrible. And that's it. No, that's it. I don't know what else I'm supposed to fucking say. We should not have left so many weapons. We should have drawn down in a much more organized and responsible fashion, and it didn't happen. And I'm a guy sitting here on the internet saying it, and that sounds stupid and entitled, and it kind of is, but I guess I can only say to the same degree as like, I don't build bridges, that's not what I do for a living. But if someone built a bridge and it collapsed in 5 fucking seconds, I would still probably say like, well, that was a pretty shitty bridge. And that just kind of seems like where we're at. That seems like
what
everyone is saying.
War was a shitty bridge. and it fell apart.
Well, we're not. We're talking. We know that the war was a shady bridge. We're talking about the exit, and yes, you could say, well, all through the beginning. Yeah, okay, that's true. But we can't reverse 20 years ago. But this happened. This is happening literally now, and we're watching it now happening within the last week or two. And it feels like we could have done something about our present. And it feels like we could probably have been more responsible.
Okay, Turk.
Yeah, so Canadian caller, I strongly recommend you actually go and look at the DoD terms of the drawout between the Trump administration and the the Taliban, and what the actual terms were of the extraction. That's why there was only 2,500 left still. There weren't additional troops that were pulled out because the Afghani people were not going to go with what Trump had said, so he left people there. You can spout out your talking points, but go to the other side and do some good will there and do some research. But then going back to this whole refugee thing, it's like Biden could have said, Trump did the bad call. He's done that on several different other topics relating to Trump's decisions. And why didn't he do that now and say, guys, we're going to go ahead and rebut our efforts here in Afghanistan, 10,000 troops until we can get our feet on the ground and understand what's going on, then do a proper rollout to get people out of the country, because that's what he should have done. He should have said, we are in no grounds to actually extract. We need to secure our assets, secure our people, and let's get out of here without all this fucking bullshit and do it right.
I think that because of the fact that a good portion of the last 20 years you guys were spending in diapers, you don't understand how often they added an additional 6 months.
How many years of the last 20 years were under Democratic control?
You in diapers? I don't know.
No, I wasn't. I was actually almost enlisted into going into Afghanistan.
Okay.
So how many years in the last 20 years were under Democratic control?
Almost. That's exactly it. I don't listen.
So why didn't Obama do this?
You're trying to get me to support I supported Obama staying there forever? No, I never did. They kept saying 6 months, and it wasn't just Obama, but it was Thomas Friedman. It was called the Friedman Unit. Ironically, that's what we called it, because it was a joke. They were going to take more time. They were going to add extra troops. They were training. All this.
So why didn't Obama do it?
People came out over and over again. Guess what? They're out again. You see Michael Hanlon, and you see all the same characters coming out again.
So why didn't Obama do it?
Because he doesn't have the will to do it. He fucking did.
So that's on Obama and the Democratic leadership.
Well,
I mean, that's what you want, but it's not just him. Donald Trump. Listen, Donald Trump.
No, you had 8 years, nearly a decade.
Right. To his credit, I'm going to say this. To his credit, he wanted to finally get out of there, and I don't know. I have not read the specific, terms on which he did that. But
then stop talking and go and read the actual agreements between the two entities.
But the point is that over and over again, for all the people who wanted this war, which is what I disagree with, and yes, some people that I disagree with about other things agree with me on this.
Stop talking and read the agreements.
No, I don't need to stop talking. You stop talking. I'm still talking. All the people who I disagree with agree with me on this, that we should withdraw from Afghanistan. I never believed that we should be there in the first place. I never believed in any of the other 6 months. I do not believe that another 6 months that these people who are still in control of these things are going to do it, because there's too many incentives for them to stay forever. That's why it's called the military-industrial complex. That's why we have contractors there and people making money off of that war.
We're not there anymore.
Yeah,
this is not a Democratic or Republican issue. This is a military-industrial complex issue. So he's right. It's not a partisan issue.
Smitty?
It's an issue of money.
Oh, fuck.
And both sides are taking the same money.
Zero. I apologize. Zero. I'm gonna get your name right. I promise you. Zero.
Yeah, it's no problem. I just think it's funny though that like when the fucking 9/11 happened, every fucking guy in America was like, "Yeah, we're gonna invade this shit." Everyone pushed forward. Yeah, push forward. You're gonna fucking conquer the whole fucking country. You did. Now everyone's like on the backside.
You do realize we invaded Iraq, not Afghanistan.
Iraq, and then you went forward.
Okay,
and,
Zero, you're not of the United States, and you don't understand the actual what happened. So shut up.
Okay, no, okay, all right, that's got to stop. Turk, hold on. Everyone, Turk, knock that off. I don't care.
No, he's factually incorrect.
Hold on.
You're factually incorrect.
Turk, knock it off, because I don't care if they're not from here, right? They're here, they're willing to engage in good faith, and so they're welcome here. Don't tell me. I don't. Okay, well then you can, and then you can tell them that. That's fine, right? But like their nationality, their origin means nothing, right? So knock that off. I don't want to hear that. All right, moving on. Go ahead, Zero. Finish your point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was factually incorrect. I'm a little bit drunk. I'm sorry. But like anyway, like everyone was backing every fucking country in Europe, and not even America, like every country in Europe as well was backing the whole thing. And now we're having problems backing up, and everyone's pointing fingers. Yeah, we're having problems finding out who's the corporate. Like everyone wanted this, and now we're having problems backing out, and everyone, like, not only America needs to fucking face up to the reality, like UN as well has to fucking face up, because the UN has been basically absent for the whole fucking thing. We need to realize that like we need to help the country we're actually invaded, and no one has, because no one has a plan to evacuate, and this is what we're left with: fucking country taken over by days after we leave. And it's not only Americans. That's stupid saying only Americans, like the UN as well. We have to fucking help the country we're leaving, because we're leaving them basically helpless. That's the problem. Not only American people are leaving them helpless. UN as well. French people, UK people, Norwegian people, where I'm from, we're leaving them helpless. We're leaving them helpless. That's the problem. The whole thing. We don't have a plan for fucking evacuating anything. And UN is basically sitting back and just, we don't care. We don't care. We're just doing fucking demanding stuff.
Kobe?
No, I'm not even angry at America, even, because the whole fucking world don't have a plan to evacuate that Middle East part.
Well, I mean, to evacuate the Middle East, like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. What does it mean? Because we don't have a plan.
What does it mean? No. Yeah, what does it mean? What do you mean evacuate the Middle East?
No, I don't have
from itself,
because I don't understand, because no one else does either.
Well, maybe it doesn't mean anything.
I'm not
maybe
sure.
It's a meaningless statement.
We're defending an airport in the fucking main capital of their country. We're controlled over 20 years, dude. And we only control the airport, and we're basically barely controlling the airport.
Let's go to Kobe.
So I have a question. If I'm not sure, maybe people don't believe this, but if there's anybody on the panel that believes that both Biden and Trump are kind of just like follow the military-industrial complex, or at least heavily biased towards what they want, then why did Trump want this? And like, I don't know, why would you think that the military-industrial complex wants this if Trump, a person who is like an absolute idiot? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit scatterbrained. The arguments being presented on the panel are stupid. I just like the I don't know, the idea that the military industrial complex wants us to just give the country over to the Taliban seems a little bit stupid. I don't know.
Did someone say that?
I didn't say that.
I said that.
So,
no one said that.
Trump wants this. Okay. We can all agree that Trump is probably one of the biggest shills to big money and a president that's ever been elected in our lifetimes. I don't think that the big money would support a president that wanted to do such an idiotic pull out of this of the region.
Sure, I don't think anyone said Trump wants this to happen, though. I don't think it was.
But Trump did.
Maybe
he made the deal.
This is literally his plan.
Yeah,
this is literally his plan. I do not think the military industrial complex is supporting this plan.
Well, like, okay, Kobe, like, just let's be real here. Let's be real here for a second. Do you think that like there was a logical through line through all of Trump's policy decisions?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, well there you
go. Fair enough.
Just want to make waves, dude.
Yeah. So we still, like, every time I bring this up, like, we keep getting pulled away to specifically Afghanistan. First of all, thank you for being here, Lord and Paul. Didn't get that. Thank you. And we have a new person, Blue. Thanks for being here, Blue. But every time I bring this up, we just immediately abandon this topic. So I'll try one more time. In general, right? Like, in terms of a principle, should a country that invades another country have a responsibility to the refugees it creates, right? So like this is just a principle. It's country X versus country Y. Not have to worry about Afghanistan. Like let's maybe not talk about it. We cover the Afghanistan. We got it, right? So country X, country Y. Country X invades country Y, and successfully completes some sort of military campaign. But that in the course of that, destroys infrastructure, kills civilians, displaces civilians, and now they're at their door. Right, they're at their border, and they're asking to be let in. Do they have a obligation to do so? We'll go to Lord and Pole, and then we'll go to Turk, and then Zero.
Mine's probably not going to take too long, but yeah, definitely. I think you definitely owe that. Like, if you're going to invade a country and knock some shit over, whoever wants to leave after that, yeah, I think you should welcome them. Especially if we want to make it more specific, the United States. Like, we have so much room to accommodate people. People are complaining about a job shortage right now. I mean, that's one way to fix it. If you want to go down that route, like, yeah, I think you owe it to people in countries that you invade.
Okay, all right. Turk, and then Zero.
Yeah, so we 100% should acknowledge and actually execute any asylee or refugee status by anyone that directly worked with the U.S. government in order to do the war on terror that we did the last 20 years. There's communicators, there's special forces operatives, there's people that have learned tactics that we've done.
Let's try it again. Turk. Country X, country Y, not Afghanistan. I'm exploring the principle.
Well, generalizing them. Sorry. Yeah. If we came into a verbal and probably written agreement, if someone provided services to the U.S. government for whatever task, yes, we are obligated to provide them asylum status.
So you're saying then, beyond that, like, so we literally bombed these people's homes into the ground. Like we being country X, bombed country Y into the ground. Now, people from country Y who didn't have any agreement, who were just people caught in the gunfire, right? You're saying that we don't have an obligation to help these individuals?
That's a moral debate that we're welcome to have right now, but
that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. This is
okay.
Debate.
That's fair. I think if we want to say within a year amount of term of when those attacks happened and we displaced you, yes, we should probably find you a place to live. That doesn't necessarily mean you get asylee status or a refugee status, but the U.S. government does have accountability when it comes to the actions we do.
Okay.
Could we just give them citizen status? Like, I'd be fine with that.
Well,
not citizen status.
Why not? Why not?
Can I weigh in?
What if they want
Why not? They should be a citizen. They put their lives and their families' lives on the line.
That's a direct question to me.
No.
Yeah.
The idea that it's like if your country goes to war with another country, your country is at war with that country. And if it's like, well, if we go to the war with the country and then, their citizens are now our citizens. It's like, are we taking over their country completely? No, we're just going to war with it. And it's like, well, then their citizens are not suddenly our citizens just because we go to war with a country. If you go to war with a country, it's predicated on this idea. Now, you could say that it's not a good idea or that it's a false idea, and that's fine. But if you go to war with the country, it's predicated on the idea that it would be just in some way. And you could say there is no such thing as just war, and that's fine. That's a different argument. But citizens of another country you go to war with don't automatically become citizens of your country if you're at war with them. That's not how that works. That doesn't mean anything.
No one's saying.
Can I interject for just a moment?
Refugees, people that want to
leave. What is a refugee from a country that you're at war with?
No.
How do you determine the difference between someone who's a refugee from a country you're at war with and the people who are the citizens of the country you're at war with?
I think citizenship
status
and those who aided the U.S. military.
He's not going to stop.
Sorry, the citizenship status should apply to those who aided the U.S. military. It's just like having a soldier there. Like if they aided the U.S. military, they should be a citizen of this country. They should be given citizenship status here.
It's not just the military.
I'm actually a little. I'm not entirely sure that's a citizenship thing just yet. I think they should be eligible just like any other refugee. I don't know why we give them immediate citizenship. Let's go to Zero and then Kobe.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that everyone thinks it's black and white, because it's not. Because if you go to war to a country, you're gonna have propaganda towards the enemy, right? And you're basically gonna say the other guys are gonna be assholes, evil people. You're gonna do everything you can to motivate your own country to go to war with the country, right? Exactly the same
Yes,
thing
you're
as
right. That's true.
yeah, of course. Like American people hated German people in the Second World War, right?
Right.
Yeah, you didn't want them to be your neighbor, did you?
No,
That's
and you
good
didn't
propaganda from
take
your
them
own
in. No.
country. Yeah, of course. You wanted to kill those guys. That's the whole motivation thing. When you dropped down in Normandy, you didn't want to be friends with the German guys.
The reason for the war.
Where
Yeah,
are
but
we
like
going
that's
with
the whole
this?
thing. You're not gonna integrate your enemy to your own culture when you're at
Correct.
war with someone, because you want to kill them. And if your country wants to motivate
Is
you to
that
kill
a
someone, they're not gonna give you fucking good reasons to
is
them
this
being your
applicable?
neighbor.
Wait, hold
It's
on,
not
hold on.
false. It's
Wait,
quite
hold on.
true.
Wait, hold on. Zero, are you familiar with Operation Paperclip?
No, I'm not.
Yes.
Okay, so just real quick, after World War II, we repatriated a bunch of German scientists and into America to help us fund our nuclear programs. These people were our enemies, and we were able to successfully integrate these people into our country. That is possible. Period.
Yeah, but under scrutiny, under their
Yeah,
control, everything
And
like
under
that.
specific
I'm
guidelines,
not
like they
going
were
to
nuclear
sign on
physicists.
with to just automatically
Under
give people
Second World
citizenship.
War, if you got a German neighbor, you would be fucking paranoid, dude.
Zero shave. If you are aware of what actually happens in like lower Texas, there's a town called New Braunfels that's full of German people, and we love those people.
Yeah, but
they make
still though, like
sausage,
under
they
Second
make
World
beer,
War.
and it's perfectly great. That city has been here since World War One.
Yeah,
but it's not since 19. It didn't happen in
I'm making an
1942.
example. I'm just making an example. If you're having a war
Well, your
against
example is
someone,
bad.
No, his example's
but
good.
let me just make an example. You're having a war against someone. You wanna make your people engage
New
towards the
Braunfels
war.
was founded in
And the thing is,
1855.
like even if the Second World War didn't give you enough, you guys were hostile to your own fucking coders that were Indian. Your coders saved a lot of lives.
My granddad's wife was German.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
lived in
but
New Braunfels
even
before
though
the war.
they were German, like you were hostile to your own coders that were
Turk.
Indian coders,
True.
American Indians who were coders, saved hundreds of thousands of American lives because no one could decrypt their fucking codes. You were hostile to even them because they even lived in your own country, dude. But like propaganda is like basically fighting your enemy, and like you have to be fucking
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing.
engaged to fight your enemy.
So, Lord, can I just say, like, I mean, Turk, what would you say is like, if you're literally engaged with Germany in World War II, not post 45, not post 42, like, if you're engaged Germany in World War II, and then like 1 million or 2 million Germans go, well, we want refugee status in the United States. It's like, well, we're literally fighting a fucking war against the country. Like, no, you're probably not going to give refugee status to the citizens by the millions of the country that you're fighting.
But we had a shitload of immigrants that were of German descent that came to our
during the war, like at the actual war itself, like during the fucking war.
Okay, here's where it makes the difference. The difference is okay. You have the difference is you have okay. Yes, we were a little friendlier to the Germans after World War II than we were, say, to the Japanese. So the Japanese were put in internment camps, and when they were released, people where I live didn't want them back. So they were like, keep the Japs out, right? The Germans. Wait, I'm not done.
Just maybe don't say the slur. Just as
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm just okay. You know, maybe quotation. I won't say the slur, but that's what they were saying. And in the hills, there was a concentration camp for Italian fascists, and those people were released at night, every night, to come down into this town and have dinner with Italian Americans living in this town. So there's definitely a different way we treat people based on the way they look, and I wouldn't trust for a second all these people who, for the sake of argument, are saying that we should be taking in all these refugees, because when they get here, they're going to want them to automatically assimilate to like the Confederacy or whatever, and it will be a hostile environment for them, and I don't, and I would just caution people about that. I hope that they stay with their pro-refugee status concept, but I fear very much. I absolutely agree that we should be taking all these people in. We need that population, but we are in the midst of a sort of a reactionary neo-Confederate environment that does not accept other cultures and does not accept other skin colors.
You know, it's another country that's in a rapt of a reactionary movement, doesn't accept other cultures. Afghanistan. Which one do you think is more accommodating, America or Afghanistan? I think that refugees
I was going to say all of them.
Remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. Absolute clown.
Right, whatever.
You don't. Either you're lying or you don't understand. Yeah, either you're lying or you don't know about the situation.
Please, thank you.
Remains to be seen. That remains to be seen.
I'm happy to respond.
My God, man, please.
Is it
fucking Christ?
Is it really?
Yeah, it is clown shit. It's clown shit.
Really? But I mean, just right now, they're blaming the COVID spread on the black community. Like, you don't think that when they start putting the mask mandates, there's gonna be like a nullification kind of a situation.
The difference is there are private citizens being racist. The Taliban or the government of Afghanistan. That's the difference. There are private citizens that say racist shit on Twitter, and they say that black people are stupid and don't get vaccines. That's racist. The government doesn't say that. The government is actually reaching out to communities. The government of Afghanistan is the Taliban.
Okay, governor of Texas that said that.
He's a racist. He's a racist.
Women are being pulled out of government and education by force and violence in Afghanistan, and you're like, well, I don't really know. I mean, with America, Taliban, I can't really tell the difference. It's like, bullshit. Shut up.
Supremacy thing.
Fucking heck, are you kidding me?
Listen, we're automatically better. Why? Why are we automatically better?
I think
you're using fucking standards.
Stop. No. I think it was because in Afghanistan, when the Taliban sees a woman that disagrees with them and tries to run for government, they execute her. In America, there are women. There's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I disagree with her. She's crazy. She's in fucking government. There's AOC. I don't think she's crazy. Disagree with her. She's in government. Neither of them, they've gotten death threats, but at no point did the government of America come and execute them because they tried to run for the government. I would say,
but the supporters were building.
Maybe they did. Who knows? We can't really say, can we?
And then hold on. What did the government do to those people that stormed the building? Oh, they've done like literally one of the biggest and most show trial. I mean, like I'm not saying a show trial in a bad way, but one of the most publicized trials in fucking American history. The Taliban does that for women that try to have rights and gay people. This is
what I'm saying.
You're such a clown, dude. You're such a joke. Oh my god.
Seriously, he has to pretend that things are as bad as the Taliban so he can fucking be relevant.
Well, the lieutenant governor of one of the states said a racist thing. So I mean, it's hard to tell.
This is what you're saying. It is what you're saying because you're making parallels.
I do want to hear. Shut up, everyone! Shut up! Whoa! Everyone, shut up! Thanks. Great, William. Finish your point, and then we're going to go to Turk.
I'm a white American. Okay, I am talking about my country. And I am talking about white people in America who are just like me. And what I'm saying is that we, if we're considered a we, are voting for people who are absolutely in the position to be first to hate minorities and also to hate women and to crack down on them. Now, I don't know the extent to which they want to do it because they have never been in full control. But I'm just saying,
4 years of Trump.
I'm just saying, if you put a Marjorie Taylor Greene, these are all this anti-Semitism coming out of the Q movement, all this kind of stuff. You have no idea where that's going to go.
Shit, dude.
It's not fantasy shit. It's literally happening. I mean, you're saying that, but I'm saying
the idea that Marjorie Taylor Greene
if they send refugees here. This is what I'm saying. If they send refugees here, the people on the right who, for the sake of argument, are saying, "Oh yeah, we have to bring them in because oh my gosh, Joe Biden is messing this up. Oh gosh, I care so much about the refugees. When they come here, will they treat them like the Chaldeans that came from Iraq, or will they treat them like these other communities that are trying to come across the border as refugees? And we see how they were treated there. Kids were separated from their parents in classic fascist fashion, and so these are little trial balloons.
It's an ideology of fascism,
They're balloons. No, they're trial balloons. That's the thing, is that you think that America is so superior that we could not become a fascist country, and I disagree
no one
with
has said that. Literally, no one has said that. All that we have said is that as of right now, we are not the fucking Taliban. That's all that we've said. Like, classic fascist policy.
What's the difference? You just said, what's the difference, right?
What's the difference?
And you're saying, you said earlier that you didn't make equivocation, and now you're asking what the difference is. Don't you know the difference? You don't know the difference.
Answer it.
That's why you're upset all the time. You don't know the difference.
Fascism is an ultra-nationalist movement, which views to see the resurrection of a bygone reactionary era. We want to make America great again, make Germany great again. The Taliban are Islamists that do not believe that nations should exist, and do not believe that the past is good, because they think that the past is evil and pagan. And in Afghanistan, they think the past is the evil communist dictatorship. They want to move forward to a Islamist theocratic government. Theocracy.
Is fascism better than Taliban to you?
No.
What you're asking me is like, is the devil as bad as a demon? Is a vampire worse than a werewolf?
That's what it sounds like. Is a vampire worse than a werewolf?
I would view fascism and theocracy as being roughly a violation of civil rights.
They're bad. They're both terrible.
I would say that a fascist government and a Taliban Islamist government is pretty close to the same badness. Yes,
okay.
I think it's pretty easy to say.
Okay. All right. Wow. All right. That was the thing.
And America is a fascist government, right? America is a fascist country.
It has the potential.
Oh boy.
So a country that currently is an Islamist theocracy, and a country that has the potential to maybe in the future become a fascist. This is just again like
he can't tell the difference. He literally can't tell the fucking difference. It's ridiculous. It's psychotic.
He's just an idiot.
It's psychotic shit. It's psycho shit.
Actually, at work. I love you.
I love you too, buddy. Let's go to Turk and then Zero.
Wow, the amount of gaslighting that King of William just shat out over your voice comms on your stream is just ridiculous.
Combined gaslighting.
Unfucking believable.
Combined gaslighting.
No, to think that the American community is not willing to accept Afghan refugees that have sacrificed themselves and their families' safety and well-beings in order to help defend themselves as well as defend American interests. That is entirely bad faith. And dude,
bro, you're gaslighting.
How am I gaslighting? He's saying that everyone on the right is willing to accept.
He didn't say that. That's why you're gaslighting.
He literally did.
Okay.
William, can you please?
Can we do this one thing? Can I just ask that we do this one thing? Accept the fact that there are war hawks on the left and the right in terms of who is in our Congress. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing.
War hawk.
Well, he means like on the American political left and right.
Okay, American political left. Name me a war hawk.
Hillary Clinton.
She's not a leftist, dude.
But she's on the American left.
She's left to you.
It's a neoliberal.
Like we have to
left, which is horrible, and it's not accurate. But as far as establishment politics, unfortunately, she represents that. I think it's not.
Bullshit. The leftists are Bernie Sanders, and that's
believe in that. But she, at one time, she was considered a left. I totally disagree with her politics and everything she's about. I'm not a big fan of Clinton.
Nobody ever
I'm just
called
stating
her
the
left.
fact.
Okay.
But no, that's not true because the right wing calls her left wing. Like we have to look at this from above where we're at. Like King of William, I think you're probably more left than me. Maybe I don't know. I think we're pretty close, but we have to look at this from like a broad country level viewpoint. Like Hillary Clinton is on the left.
No, she's not.
From that perspective, she is.
Nobody ever called her left.
King of William. King of William. King of William. Can I just say, like, they're literally pulling women out of government and schools in Afghanistan through the Taliban because of religious reasons, and you think that is equal to America? Who the fuck is not like too far right for you if America is too far right for you because you're that far fucking left. No one. You have an impossible standard of humanity, and nothing. Like if the entire you did because you're saying nothing that exists is far left enough for you.
Actually,
no, you said Hillary Clinton is not a leftist. Bernie Sanders is a leftist. Is it that hard to understand?
Is that he's the only leftist?
I agree with what you just said, but from like the American political viewpoint, what you said doesn't matter. Like you're saying something that matters to people in this room. Like you're not saying something that matters to...
Okay, so Hillary Clinton is not a leftist. But if we look at the lens of American politics there's a left-wing party and a right-wing party. In which party does Hillary Clinton reside? That's how normal people talk.
There's a liberal party and there is a conservative party. There's been no left. Left is Eugene Debs. Left is Jesse Jackson. Left is Bernie Sanders.
Bro, we all agree with you, or at least I know I agree with you here. And I'm assuming
those are the terms people use. Nobody ever called Hillary Clinton a leftist. It never happened.
You're not calling her a leftist.
No, we're not
calling her a leftist.
You know what I mean?
What are you talking about? Listen to Alex Jones. He calls her a fucking communist, dude.
Like, well, that's what I'm saying. If you want to use the right-wing nomenclature, then she's a socialist. That's fucking bullshit.
Hold on a second. I'm not saying she's a leftist. She is far from a leftist. What I'm saying is she gets labeled as that, and as such, because of the broad media attention,
stop.
Scope of politics, it looks like she's on the left, even though she's not even close to that. But that's where we're at. We're in this narrow lane with what we see. But I agree with you. But she's labeled as that. Go look at half the news reports. Go look at Fox News.
Starting now.
So there's a difference between there is different.
I'm saying she gets labeled as that.
No, she's not labeled as leftist. Hold on, no. You went too far. You went correct. Hold on. Stop, hon. You went too far there. She's not labeled. She's nowhere labeled as a leftist. There's nowhere that labeled as a leftist. She's. They'll say that she's on the left, right? Meaning that she's a Democrat, but there's anywhere that's anyone named her as a leftist. She's not a leftist, right?
I'm not entirely sure that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, Fox.
Not
Fox.
In good faith.
Wow, Fox.
Not in good faith.
Fox. Yeah, Fox.
Right,
the bastion of.
But that's important, though.
Guess who the largest news network is with the largest viewership in this country?
Who cares?
Fox News.
But that doesn't. Hold on.
My point is this is what people end up thinking because that's the influence that happens.
Okay. Hold on. None of that matters. Literally none of that matters. Literally none of that matters. Not a bit of that matters, right? We can actually look at her, right? We can look at her, and we can look at where she is nominally on the political spectrum, right? And we can identify her as a neoliberal, right? We can identify her as like a common corporate Democrat. Yes, so you agree with that, right?
Absolutely.
But who gives a
I think she's a leftist.
Okay, fair enough, right? But like, who gives a shit what Fox News says, right? Fox News goes we'll go to you, Lord, but like on the Fox News says all kinds of crazy shit just because they are saying it.
Their viewership represents more than half of our country.
No,
which
it doesn't.
No, it's not that important.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
They represent a lot of people.
Hold on. That viewership does not represent half the country, right? Even in the best of times, the Republicans aren't half the fucking country, right? If you take them all into account, they're not half the fucking country. That's not true. That's not even true, right? So like, and in terms of Fox viewership, yes, they are the biggest news network, but that doesn't mean much because news networks in general are not, or cable news especially, does not nearly have the reach that it used to, right? A few million people per day watch Fox News. That is not half the fucking country. It's not half the country, right? But that message does get out through other means, right, other than Fox News, right? But even then, if they're calling her, so they call her a fucking Marxist, right? They call her a fucking communist. Does that mean anything? Should we take that to account for anything?
It does, because it sets the barometer the wrong way. What it does is it limits our ability to go further with the policies that we're actually looking to go to, because now she's considered extreme. Right. And if she's considered extreme, and then what we're trying to do, like Bernie Sanders, I'm a huge Bernie Sanders booster. I campaigned for him out here in Arizona. I love that dude. And I tell you what, I believed in him all the way up through this last election. I voted for him, same thing. Okay. What I'm saying is that when you set the barometer by calling Hillary Clinton left, right?
That's right.
Bernie Sanders looks like a lunatic to people that are moderates. And
well, that's
and that's
precisely
the scary
my point.
part.
That's my point. So you're using that nomenclature that does that. That's there to set the Overton window, so-called, over to the right, and to say that all things to the left of Hillary Clinton are absolutely beyond the pale, out of the question, right?
No,
and
I
that's
agree
the
with
way
you.
it was most of my life. And then Bernie Sanders is like a leftist. Now, by world standards, is he that far left? No, he's he's just a reasonable person,
yeah.
right?
That's
and that's completely out. That's
That's all
completely
we were
beyond the
saying.
pale in the United States. So I'm just saying, to say that Hillary Clinton is a leftist, or to say that's where the terms are because Fox News says so, is fucking insane, because you're helping to set that Overton window and make somebody like Bernie Sanders, who just
We
wants
agree.
a
We
personal
agree with
response
you.
to problems.
We agree with
be
The whole
beyond the
I'm
pale.
not saying that I agree with that. I'm saying that there's a reality there, and it's a reality that we need to do something about. Okay, I'm not
that's what I'm
saying
here
it's a
doing.
good
Yeah,
thing.
no, we all agree that she's not a leftist, and I'll just leave it at there because it seems we're done with this topic.
Can I clarify something to kind of bring it back quite a bit?
Please
The
do.
original question was, should X country be responsible for Y country's refugees if they cause a war inside of it? Typically, if you're going to war with a country, even if you think like the United States is far right or has the possibility to, it's probably going to be better than conditions that a war was just fought in. So whether it's Serbia, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Iraq, these places are probably going to be worse off because they just had a war inside of it. So I do think you have the more responsibility if you are X country waging war on Y country to take in refugees. And the United States does have problems, but it'll probably be better off infrastructure-wise, economy-wise, and just like political stability in general if a war was just waged in like Afghanistan, Iraq, Serbia, et cetera, et cetera. So
I
just
agree with
kinda
that.
bring it back.
And I think we should bring them here. And I agree with all of those points. And yes, I was talking about the right wing, which I'm saying they're saying right now, for the sake of argument, that yes, we should bring them over because it's part of this whole push to say that that Biden is way out of control, ending the war in Afghanistan. And I'm just saying, watch them, because they don't have a history of really being tolerant of people from different cultures and people who look differently from them from integrating into society. So I'm just saying, like, I would be careful. I would be listening to the right wing and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to hold you to that. But I'm just saying, yes, it is better. I think we should take them all in. You know,
but if you're an Afghan, if you're an Afghan Hazara, right? Like a person who's been a group of people that's been persecuted by the Taliban for like decades and decades and decades, you're probably going to be better off living in like bumfuck Alabama than you are like living back under Taliban rule and having to deal with like the extermination runs they do, or like the massacre they did in 1998 where it killed between like 2,000 and 20,000 people. Like you're going to be way better off in the United States. And like I understand what you're saying, but I don't think like right wingers in the United States are going to go on like a genocide spree that the Taliban would in Afghanistan. And if you want, you could use other countries for an example too, like Serbia with the Bosnian Muslims that were being slain, or there is like other examples you can use, or like the Kurds in northeastern Syria. If you've just had a war inside your country, and let's say the United States or whoever, like X country was waging war in there, I do think you have more responsibility. And I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it has that much validity because I don't think the right wing in the United States is going to go on a genocide spree for the minority refugees that we're taking in.
So I want to let Zero in. Go ahead, Zero.
Like, I think it's stupid, like what you're saying, dude. I think it's really stupid, dude. They've been in there for years and fucking years. And you're talking about they're not gonna get acknowledgement from like people they've been guarding, the people they've been fucking next to, the people they've been fighting next to.
That's what's happening right now.
No, fuck that.
But that is what's happening.
No, you don't know what's happening. The people's been there, like American people been there. They've been fighting over the fucking country. And now they're falling back. That's the whole point. they're falling back. They're losing territory, and that's the thing. That's the problem with the back. Like when you're leaving, you're falling back. You
What are you
haven't been
trying to
fighting.
say?
Yeah, but they haven't been fighting for anything. And if you're a fucking military guy, you know this. You haven't been fighting for anything. They've been there fucking 4, 3, 5 years maybe. Haven't been fighting for anything. They're lost friends. They lost fucking
What does this
comrades.
have to do with the question?
No, but like anything, if you fucking stay there and you lose stuff over time, if you lose stuff more than regularly, and if you push back, you you're not gonna give a shit, do you? You're not gonna give a shit. And
I
the
understand your point
American.
either, man. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I don't
No,
understand
no,
your
no.
point.
I'm just saying, like
What are you?
American
No, yeah. What are
soldiers.
you? Just,
Yeah, but the
wait.
American soldiers are not gonna give a shit.
Oh, thank
Okay.
Give a
They're
shit,
just
and so they're
pushing
not
back.
going to what? So therefore,
Wait,
what?
no,
No
if
They're
offense.
American
not
I just
soldiers
don't
gonna.
get it.
didn't care,
No. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys.
I'm trying to listen.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
am.
I
I
have
really am.
100% respect for that. I'm just telling you, if you're fighting for something and then you get an order to fall back, do you think you're gonna care about that fucking area? You're
yeah,
not.
you do care a lot. That's
No,
why.
you're
That's
not.
why.
No, you're not.
No,
You
no.
just
That's
want to
why.
get the
Make
fuck out
friends.
of
They
there.
make friends, and they know people, and they associate with
No,
families,
no,
and they
no,
integrate.
no.
It's
You're
not
gonna
true,
no.
man. Like I know
You're gonna
people that
give a
were
shit.
soldiers, American soldiers that
Yeah,
made
good
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 friends
for
with
those
people. Oh,
guys. Good for those guys. But 90% of people who
Sure.
fighting for an area gonna give shit for place where
Yes,
they're not gonna get
Sure.
fucking
Who cares?
recognition.
they do.
Why do we?
You can.
Why is
You
this
can.
important? What is this even?
Why is this
addressing?
important? Because you're leaving a country defenseless. Basically, you're leaving.
Sorry.
he's trying to address the moral
I don't-
obligation. I'm gathering.
Like, but that wasn't even what we were talking about.
No,
So
but
I
you
don't know
guys
what
even
you're.
know how it is to defend somewhere. You're losing your friends. You're losing your friends. He's gonna get killed by some fucking stupid fucking AID.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but I guess I just don't see how it ties into the
But you're
discussion.
not gonna
No, we're not.
understand
We're
it.
not interrupting you.
No,
You've said this a few
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
so
I
I'm
think-
not
I think-
interrupting
I
you
think-
at this
I
point.
think-
I
you're
understand.
just-
You guys not gonna understand it.
I think the problem is that you're just really drunk at this point.
You said the same thing
Yeah,
4 times.
okay,
I understand
okay.
what you're
I'm not
saying.
drunk.
Yeah,
I'm not
yes,
drunk.
yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're
I
definitely
am
drunk.
drunk, but like if you leave an area, you lost 2 of your best
I'm not,
friends,
but I am.
bro. No,
Goddamn.
but seriously, you lost 2 of your best friends over there,
Yeah.
and you leave them.
Yeah.
and you're
Okay.
gonna
Great.
feel like
Thank you.
You didn't fight for anything.
Understood.
Yeah, you're right. I know
What,
what you mean.
what are you
Okay.
fighting
All right.
for?
Great. All right. You're definitely.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
of course, yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Moving on. Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Zero. Thank you. It's okay. All right. Thank you for being here, Dan. I'm hearing some typing from someone. So whoever that is, mute. But Dan, thanks for being here. If you want to add something, go ahead.
I just, I think a lot of what's going on hasn't been exactly planned out, and much of the people on the ground and those who are part of the central planning to remove all the troops doesn't exactly have the best idea how to deal with moving out of a country within 6 months. They should have learned from what Nixon has did, where he did it within a year, and even that was kind of botched too. And they had plenty of room to look through and historically look at how it's done, and they didn't do shit and cramped everything in the last moment. So it's definitely as a fault to the Biden administration, and people should be fired for it.
Okay. All right. Maybe we've covered the topic. So. All right.
I think we beat a dead horse to death again.
Oh, we might have. We might have. All right. So, I did have another topic. Completely different. Not foreign policy at all. One second. Let me bring it up. One second. The University of Virginia has disenrolled more than 200 students who didn't meet the vaccine mandate. So there are students that are coming in for fall semester, students coming for spring semester as well, and I'm not sure if they also do staff do something to staff. But yeah, they're just like disenroll them. You didn't send in the paperwork, then you're done. You can be re-enrolled if you do send in the proper paperwork, I guess, if you do it in time. They were sending a bunch of notifications to individuals. And if you didn't respond, then yeah, you get disenrolled. I'm laughing because my friend Beemore, get vaxxed or get clapped. So do you think this is a good thing, that this makes sense and this is the direction we should be going with these responses? Load and poll, and then Canadian.
So yeah, get vaxxed or get clapped for one. But for two, like, I mean, why can't they just treat that as an IQ test? Like that's basically not an IQ test, but more of like that's their ACT requirement. It's like, oh, do you know enough about getting vaccinated to the point that you actually did? You made the correct decision. Okay, like why can't that be a bar for entry? Why not?
Why not? I don't know. Canadian, you tell us why not.
I totally agree with him. Well, I don't think it's an IQ test because I don't think.
Yeah,
okay, cool. So whether or not it's okay for Virginia to do that, they're a private institution that can set whatever requirements they want for their school, and it's kind of fucked up because like I don't know if it's different in America, but here like from elementary school to like grade 12, if you don't have certain vaccines, you can't go to school. That's like a normal part of life. So to extend this to your university, I think it's unfortunate, but I think that A, it's totally within the right as a private institution to do so, and that B, because the vaccine is free to obtain, and there have been efforts made to make sure that you're aware of this requirement and giving you time to redress it if you didn't know or you didn't file your paperwork in time. If you didn't get in, I'm not sorry for you. If you got disenrolled, I'm not sorry for you.
Other people? Thoughts?
I will say, like, when they were told, like, when that decision was made, like, you should have some kind of leeway. Like, I guess I kind of disagree with what caller said a little bit. Like, if they'd made that decision, like, a week ago, you should get until after this semester to, like, kind of decide to get vaccinated. That's kind of it, though. Like,
if we hadn't been running
somebody else
when they're all there together.
Yeah, you can't have people like on campus with each other and just super duper hope that they did get vaccinated in time. I'm sorry, but that's an administrative nightmare. You're right that it wouldn't be fair, but I also wouldn't fight them on that.
Okay, all right.
But even if they got vaccinated, like the day they got that email, like they saw, it's like, oh shit, I better get vaccinated. It's like, it's not going to kick in like fully in time, like soon enough. I think
I would agree.
So they should be able to like require masks. I mean, they should be doing that anyway. But that's kind of the only disagreement I have. Like, I mean, we agree like they should have been vaccinated anyway.
As a matter of practicality, do you trust an anti-vaxxer to wear a mask responsibly?
What's that?
As a matter of practicality, do you trust an anti-vaxxer to responsibly wear a mask if that's the option they're given instead of getting vaccinated?
I mean, I don't trust them to, but you're gonna have enough people that
as
are
a
gonna.
dean, I would make the value judgment. No,
I wouldn't trust them to, but that's not the problem. It's not a trust problem. It's like they're being observed by a bunch of people. If you make that a rule that you must be masked, and like this is a college, so I think you can actually enforce the proper mask wearing instead of this whole deal. Like you're not going to be able to call somebody out in a store that's a random person that you're walking by. If it's a classmate, you're going to be able to call them out if they're wearing the mask improperly. So
I call people out in the store. I do. I call people out in the store all the time. I borderline get in fights with people over it.
That's honestly, I fucking love that. Like I'm not brave enough to do that, especially given where I live. But like, that's
here's the deal.
It's easier when you know the
elementary school. I got a kid in an elementary school in Arizona, and our governor has banned mask mandates. And if you don't think that I call that school and that school district every single day and ream people's asses, you're out of your mind. No, mask mandates. If you're not going to get vaxxed, there's got to be mask mandates. Elementary schools, like, are you kidding me? Elementary schools, those kids can't even get vaxxed. You're talking about this Virginia college. These people can get vaccinated. They have a responsibility. If they don't want to get vaccinated or they're going to be slow to go on it, then I guess they really didn't want to be in college that bad, did they? Right? I mean, I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but come on, man. We had time. How long has it been that we've had to get the vaccination? How long have we had the vaccination available to people where they're like begging people to go get it? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, no excuse. I'm sorry. You didn't get your vaccination. You want to cry about the fact that it took you a little bit longer because your paperwork didn't come through. Well, you know what? You had plenty of time to do it before school started and you slacked. Guess what? Wait till next semester, sucker. Go work at McDonald's for a while and understand what real working class people have to go through.
Damn, boy.
What's the university that's doing this?
University of Virginia.
Virginia? Okay.
Yeah. I can put that in like an article and actually I have to find it.
I guess the only thing would be whether or not it's a state-sponsored school or not, because then it becomes with a government mandate at a certain point because your taxes are paying for it. But if it's not, then they're a private institution. They can.
I mean, it is. I mean, it is. It's University of Virginia, so it's definitely
okay.
government.
Well, then that opens up a separate issue. Yeah.
I think they should go ahead and do it. I don't know why private schools aren't doing it, but all through San Francisco, they're making these requirements for businesses and so on and so forth that people have vaccines and so on and forth as a means of entry. And I think that's probably going to work out well for San Francisco. I think that, people have been, pussyfooting around this thing and it's cost a lot of lives. And so I think people are going to start to get serious about it, especially given what's going on with the spread of the Delta virus. And, I've got a 5-year-old son and, I really resent these people who think that it's their freedom to endanger people's children and when the vaccine's out because they think that it's somehow authoritarian to get a fucking vaccine. And so I think that UVA is right. And I'm surprised it's a state thing, but that's fine with me. I go for it. Cause the controversy. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. What was I gonna say? Sorry. I got completely distracted by something. Hey. Yeah. So. Does anyone else think that this is the right direction to be going? Go ahead.
Well, I do agree that the university, even public or private, should at least even if for the safety of much of the students and the faculty, it should be a precedent to, as including for my university that I work or go at, to at least put forth a mandate for people who have the vaccine, and it should be done so. So I don't think this is much of a controversy, maybe to those who are very much conservative and think it's against their liberties. But this is at least I believe the safety of the students and faculty are above the safety of some I don't think it's of their own personal liberties of one person, because it directly will harm them.
Canadian, we can hear you typing. Yeah. So, but like now we're. Oh, hey TK9. I can. Thanks for being here.
Can you see me now? Like
no,
now we can hear you.
We can hear you. Yeah, you were deafened before. But yeah. So, like these people, I think it's different from work, right? I think it's different from work. Because in work, I'm sorry, TK9. If you like, I'm getting some feedback from your. So maybe just mute yourself until you're ready to talk, because I'm hearing my voice. So if you could do that for me, please. So oh my God, sorry, TK9. I need you to mute yourself right now. I'm hearing my voice again and again.
Like I'm muting myself already, dude.
No, you're not, because I can hear. All right,
I can hear feedback too, dude. You can hear it.
I have to server mute them. All right, sorry. So these people, pay a lot of money, right? They pay a lot of money to go to this university. I'm assuming you didn't get a scholarship, or maybe you did get a scholarship, and it's about to go down the toilet. But like, are you saying that there's nothing, like none of that plays a difference? Like, it's one thing to say you're going to go to work, but now you're actively paying money to go there. Like, you pay for a product, you can't get that product.
Vaccines are free,
and they have to refund them. That's it.
Thanks for being here. I didn't see you come in. Is it Clearest?
Yes.
Hey, thanks for being around. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you're doing well.
Just to weigh in, if they signed up for a service, whether it's school or anything, and then the school changes the stipulations or the requirements, and they don't meet them, then the school needs to refund them because the school made a change. That's it. That's all it is.
Okay. All right. Wow. All right. Sure.
I think they might have to owe them something else too if they've withdrawn from other universities or something like that. If they offer them an acceptance and then they made a stipulation, they change it, then they could potentially sue for damages. That's possible. Whether or not it goes to that is different.
They can't sue for damages. This is a matter of public health. Number one. 1905 Supreme Court already decided on this, that vaccine mandates are an exception to our constitutional law, and they absolutely do apply, which is why you have to get vaccines when you travel abroad or when you go to elementary school. That's exactly why you have to do it. Okay, so this is nothing new. There's no legal precedent for being able to fight back against a college for that.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Go ahead and look it up. That's case law.
I think if it's a new vaccine, which it is, I think
Supreme
it's
Court
possible.
ruling on vaccines.
Like if someone came out with the vaccine next week, and then someplace mandated it, do you not think anyone have legal recourse? I know that it's not the same, but I do think that there is a case potentially. Now you might say, well, in this case, it's overwhelming, and they have no case, and you might be right, but I don't think that it's so cut and dry.
But okay, not to nitpick, but in the example that you provided, there's like a couple more things going on there that make it not okay. Like a vaccine that came out a week ago is not going to have any degree of credible testing. Yes, there's people in chat who are like worried about the 6 months tests that aren't conclusive yet that we've done on the current coronavirus. But like that time scale kind of changes things, right? A lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man is back. All right. And TK and I's gone. Okay. All right. So I guess no one wants to talk about this. That's fine. Does anyone have something they want to discuss?
Does anyone have a take on the upcoming Canadian election that just
Absolutely
got called?
Literally no one does. Not a single person does.
I wish I did.
Only the Canadian color does.
I think we solved the world's problems tonight.
Oh, man.
You don't have anything to talk about? Nothing?
Is the Lauren Southern discourse still a thing? No. Like, is that?
What do you mean the
Lauren
Lauren Southern discourse?
Like allowing her back into media,
or
people promoting her. Is that still a thing?
That's an interesting question.
When I say as a woman, it feels really weird. Like only what I've seen. So like I didn't know who Lauren Southern was until like all this drama went down in the last week. And it feels really weird to like disagree with someone who has only the takes that I've viewed in the last week, right? And so I've been trying to like research all of her perspective, and it really sucks. But like, are we not allowing room for growth on this platform?
This is Twitch.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen,
so
is like people are more on the side of allowing her to come back. Like that's kind of been more what I've seen, is that people are cool.
But like,
I mean,
how do
there
you
are people that
assume?
don't think
Well,
so.
how do you assume like how I've seen her? Like I've never heard anything until everyone's like, "Oh no, she's on this platform."
So, wait, sorry, can you ask that again?
Yeah, so like I did not know who this person was until people were like losing her shit on this platform. So like the view that I've had is like people are like, "Oh look, people are losing their shit. Watch her on here," and it's like a decent take.
What was her take? What was her take?
Oh, I don't even fucking know, Prime. Jeez.
Is it when she debated Lance from the Serfs?
Oh
Is that
my
what you're
God.
talking about?
No, it was a pretty feminist take, and I get that women can be feminists, and they can also be racist, and they also be whatever the fuck they want to be. But like, I have not seen anything in regards to, and that just might be my bubble. I'm not saying that it's not.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, like most of the stuff that was, I'm sure I haven't paid attention to her since she became like kind of like trying to build her reputation back up. But before that, like what she became famous for was promotion of the Great Replacement conspiracy theory.
So I
So
guess then, how do you feel about people that comes into this perspective and has no idea what that is, and they
I don't know.
actually
I
want
don't
to
think
listen
there's
and
anything
learn?
wrong with. I don't think there's anything wrong with the people that come into that. I think the problem is that people are helping Lauren Southern get views so people like you can see her to begin with. Because the way that I view that fuck up, if we're to assume that she actually did reform from that, okay? She fucked up as a media person. She fucked up by promoting a conspiracy theory that's so vile and racist. She fucked up so bad that personally I don't think that she should be allowed into
But
that space again
I've heard
to
guys
fuck
fuck up
up
so
that hard.
bad. Why are you not talking about them?
What?
I've heard guys fuck up so bad on like every single panel. Like, why is it constantly when a female?
No, hold on. The
Hold
male
on.
equivalent to Lauren Southern would be Richard Spencer. If Richard Spencer was on Twitch, we'd all be throwing a fit about it.
I agree with
We'd
that.
all be what?
We would all be throwing a fit about it.
And that's, I guess, my point. It's like, is it because? And I don't know. I'm not like, I really don't know. Is it because she's attractive? Because like I really like her eyeliner. Like I don't know why I really like her, but like she's a good-looking girl with like her hair, and I'm a little jealous. So like, is that why I want to get her up on the
Okay, no,
deal?
I'll tell you
What is
exactly why you
happening?
really like her is because she's really good at being a media personality. She's really good at it. Like she has a natural talent for it. And frankly, with how bad she fucked up, like the equivalent for me for what she did, to me it's like if you took a cop and they killed somebody that they shouldn't have killed. Like that's like the
Right.
level of how bad she fucked
Explain
up.
that to somebody that like
That's
is
how bad
not.
she fucked up in the career that she had.
She's a
Because
murderer in your eyes.
yeah,
I'm
oh
so
yeah, I will
confused right
explain. I will explain why that's the case. The dude
It
that
needs
did the
explanation.
Christchurch, thank you. The dude that did the Christchurch shooting named her in his manifesto. Like, how can that not be a big fucking deal? How can we not say that that's kind of something that we should look at?
Just as a slight rebut, PewDiePie was also mentioned in there as well, and I don't think he spread the same conspiracy theories Lauren Southern has. So
That's
I don't know.
part
It's
of
a
it, though.
one-to-one
He didn't
comparison.
do the same
He
thing.
has said anti-Semitic shit though, and that's what he was clinging to.
PewDiePie he's said some pretty fucked up shit, like some really fucked up shit. But like he's not Lauren Southern. He's not on the same. I'm not going to put
know what?
Not on the same level at all. But that's I'm just saying.
I will also say PewDiePie doesn't deserve a media platform too. He is fucked up enough where I would say like, yeah, he probably should have not been as big as he is.
Here's my question: Is
my
there
stepson was watching PewDiePie, and I actually totally cut him off because like, what the hell is a kid doing watching that? And that's who he caters his videos to. And his videos do have racist underpinnings, and he does use a lot of dog whistles, and he does say misogynistic shit. And like, because he's catering it to that audience, it's disgusting. And you're right, he should be deplatformed. He's horrible.
It's not the same as Lauren
So the
Southern,
question
though.
seems to be like, if you say like if somebody's misogynistic or somebody's anti-Semitic or it's racist or something like that, is it harmful to people? Like when they talk and they express their views, is that in some way harmful to people? Like, or is it irresponsible? And then if you're saying, okay, yes, but there are degrees, like you're going to means test it, right? Then you say, okay, on this panel, right, we're going to have some right-wing views because we don't want the echo chamber. And so you're going to have a right-wing person on here and they're going to express their views. And then they could be, they could be more sophisticated or less sophisticated about whether they are misogynistic or racist. Maybe they deny they're misogynistic or anti-Semitic or racist. And then the other question is, like, let's say you have that person on, then you're going to say, then you say, oh well, can anybody grow on this platform? Meaning, like, we're all having this conversation, so we put this person on. Yes, they have backwards views, but through discussion and so on and so forth, if the people who are not racist or not anti-Semitic or something like that, if they're really good at debating, maybe they'll change their minds. And then my question would be, has there been a person like that has showed up on not just this debate panel, but any of the debate panels
Clearest,
or any panel
Clearest, your camera
has changed their mind?
Sorry, Clearest, your
That's
camera.
kind of what I wanted to ask.
One second, Clearest, your camera's freaking out. It's like it's blinking. It's really bad. So it looks like it's better now, but I don't know what was happening before. But Amanda, go, and then Lord and Paul.
I'm just joining, so I guess like I want to ask the entire panel is, what is your reasons for being here?
What are
you trying
Can we
to
keep
do?
it to the topic?
Yeah.
No,
sure.
I like that
I
question.
feel like it's
I
kind
think
of
it's a fun
important though,
question.
like in regards to like your background and your perspective and what you're trying to push out into to the public.
I heard Afghanistan talking points, so I wanted to come on and talk about Afghanistan, but we moved off that for a little bit. But yeah,
Maybe she means more about like on Twitch in general.
I got it. Clearest,
Oh,
you got to do
in
something.
general. Oh,
Clearest,
my
you got to
bad.
do
I'm sorry.
something about your camera. Like it's like the flashing. It's constant. You got to do something about it, Clearest. All right. So go. I apologize. So you're saying, why are we all here on Twitch? Is that what you're saying? And
So
then
you're trying to relate it to this topic?
Trying to ask you why you're on Twitch.
No, I don't exactly know.
panel. No, this Twitch in general, like
I
this
don't know anything. I don't
everywhere.
fucking know shit. I'm here to like learn.
So we're done talking about what we're
I
talking about.
ask
no,
questions.
we're talking about
You
Lauren
can answer
Southern.
a question if you don't want to.
I feel like she's trying to relate this to Lauren Southern, right? Saying that like
Excuse me.
Sorry, Lauren Southern. Yeah, no. Lauren Southern is here, right? And so if she has, we're thinking about like, why does she have a right to be here? Then why does anyone have the right to be here? Like, why are you all here? Or like, what are you all doing here? Lauren has a goal. I don't know. I haven't watched her stream, so I don't know anything about it. But Lauren has a goal here, and should she not have just as much right to do that? So far, she hasn't. For instance, as far as I know, right, violated TOS, right? Anyone who doesn't violate TOS can be here, right? Like, why is it that saying this particular woman in general doesn't get to be on?
Can I start?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it's really tough for me to really believe that Lauren Southern has changed within her small hiatus that she has. To be respectful, it seems I've seen other creators, or at least people who have tried to grift their way into other medias, like as I remember, Candace Owens, who was considered to be left-wing, ended up taking a small hiatus, and now she is a far-right figure in the Republican Party, and therefore such Turning Point USA. And to be callous, it's hard to think that she's trying to do is just save her career, as much of it has been very harmful to much of her image and the likeness, to be equivocating her to what she used to be formerly called to her community, and to that, so changing now to be more of a centrist right figure is difficult for me to believe. I think at least it makes me. I need at least a year or two, or at least shown of at least some prudent respect that I hope that at least she could change without making it seem like this was just more of a business move.
Why is that even strange? Like, we expect people who have some shitty ass views to change their mind. Like, why do we have this time frame in which they have to change their mind?
Because we don't give those people that change their minds a platform to like do what they want to do in front of who knows how many people is what she can grow to. Like, that's my thing. Is like, I don't think she shouldn't be removed from the right to have a platform. She should absolutely, she should be like what a Rob Noor is or a Lecture Fan is. She should be a 100 viewer Andy on Twitch. That's it. We shouldn't be helping her. We shouldn't have people like platforming her and being like, "Oh, how have you reformed?" I don't give a shit.
Why
She
is it
fucked up too
helping
bad.
her?
She
Why does
fucked
it seem
up
like this
too
platform take
bad
off
from
on
a
like so many
media
men, but when it comes
personality
down to like a
perspective
female, like why is it
to
helping
get
her?
back to where she should be.
So you're just mad.
Or where
So
she wants to be.
you're just
I'm not
mad
mad.
because
I'm not.
I mean, all I'm saying is you're just mad because she's got more views than you do. The whole idea that people are mad
You
at
know what I
Lauren's.
mean?
No, I'm not talking about you. The whole idea that people.
Apparently, he's talking about me.
Yeah, I am talking about you.
But
The
that
whole
doesn't stream.
So the whole idea that people who are mad at Lauren Southerns because she changed her ideas is completely hypocritical. When you talk about if you let me talk, maybe I get to the point, right? So when you talk about Twitch politics, it's always about changing the people's mind, right? But you won't accept the fact when someone does change their mind. When they were a huge political person, you won't accept the fact when they do change their mind, when they do come to these more reasonable takes, you despise it. And you say, no, you shouldn't have these types of views. You should have Rob Noor views because I guess you don't like Lauren Southern. And I guess that's fine. You could be critical against them, but don't be critical and saying like you shouldn't have these amount of views. You should be a 100 viewer Andy just because you're pissed off that she's successful on this platform.
No, the purpose of that
God,
statement
dude,
to say
the way
that
that you
contained.
interpreted what I said is literally like it's like clown world shit. Like it doesn't even make sense that you interpreted what I said
like, hey,
the way
this
that
is
you
really awesome
did.
woman who like has some really powerful views. How about we go listen to her?
Okay, hold
and
on a
instead of
second.
like, hey, listen to me, and I'm gonna like invalidate this person. Like, I've had this problem with Twitch since I've like joined it. Like the only thought that I felt like even remotely accepted is like in a conservative circles, and it's because of the way that the left dismisses every fucking thing that I've ever thought. And no, I'm not trying to blame that on you, like specifically, but like, why is it every time that I'm on these panels that like anyone that wants to give a perspective that's different than them is wrong unless it's exactly what you want to fucking view?
You're also a bad person, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
would just say,
I'm
just
horrible.
say,
so fucking
first of
horrible.
all-
So, hold on. I do want to get Canadian. Canadian had his hand up, so let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So, Amanda, as respectfully as I can put this, if you're unaware of the kind of content that she used to make, I don't think it's fairly fair for you to opine as to why we do or don't dislike her content. To be quite frank with you, the like racist conspiracy theory stuff is beyond the pale, and I feel like if any other creator rose to that level and you saw the movies that she make, you would not stand up for what she did. Personally,
Literally movies, by the way.
I agree that.
Literal
I agree with that. So like, can you like play that content? Because like
You're gonna talk
I
about what
had to like
happened in Italy or
Bro,
what?
Everyone shut up. Lorden, shut up. Everyone shut up. Like Samantha's talking. Let her finish. All right, go ahead. And then we'll go to William.
I had to dig in to
So that's
why
Samantha?
I did not
Instead of
want to
Amanda.
like Lauren
Oh,
Southern.
Amanda.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool. I had to dig into why I wouldn't like Lauren Southern. Like I had to like literally dig into articles in order to gauge this. And like, so from a feminist perspective, she's cool. From a racial perspective, she's a fucking horrible person. Right? Like, and
are black women not considered women to you?
What?
I think they are.
Are black women not considered women to you? I'm sorry. That's a bullshit take.
Shut up. Shut up. Everyone shut up. If I need to mute everyone, then I can do that to help you out. All right. Look, I want to hear this back and forth that Canadian and Amanda are having. So, like, that's going to happen. Everyone chill out. I'm going to let this happen. So, Canadian, go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry for raising my voice at you, but I take
You're
issue
fine.
with what you just said. She's okay on gender stuff, but on race, she's a little yikes. Like, do black women not count as women to you?
That's not what I said. Sorry.
All right, but you realize that that's the implication that could be stated by what you said, right? Because by dismissing her racial shit, you're dismissing all the black women who get hurt by the bullshit that she pushed.
No, so that's not at all what I'm saying. That I'm saying that like had I not dug in myself in regards to these issues, I would not know what these fucking issues are. And like that's a whole bigger picture in regards to like what's platformed and what I learn in regards to what I actually research. And my issue here is like what I learned like from a deep fucking dive is fucked up. But like a surface level, she seems really fucking cool, which is my problem. As surface level is that she seems really fucking cool, but you deep dive and it's like, holy shit, like she's not cool. Like,
okay.
That's my problem.
Okay, great. You just made the argument for deplatforming. She's capable. May I
I didn't make the argument towards deplatforming. I made the argument towards like, are we really going to like deplatform people that like disagree with everything we said? Because
no,
last night in regards to like ideas and what we're going to deplatform, and I think that's really fucking toxic. And I get that. Whatever.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah. So this is exactly the issue, right? She's an effective communicator with some fucked up views, and she's capable of hiding the more insidious things that she believes using like more PC and safe rhetoric. That's why people are taking such a zero tolerance approach to her, is because she is good at like playing this like really cool girl boss kind of person. She comes off likable and affable until you really dig in. But in that process, some people will be converted to her more insidious ideas. That was the whole idea of like the alt-right pipeline a couple years ago, and that's why we're so apprehensive about people like her. And that's meant to.
I don't disagree at all what you're saying. I guess I'm wondering how we're going to combat it without like the really hard take that like she fucking sucks. Like I agree. I totally, because the only reason I agree is because I actually dug into her, right? So like, can we bring that back around towards this platform and like educate people?
How do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, separate it from the like she fucking sucks idea? Like,
I guess what I mean is more like instead of she fucking sucks, it's like, hey, she said this. Like, let's like post exactly what she said and let's base it on actual facts, I guess. I don't know.
Like principal disagreements with the things that she said in the past. I could break bread with that.
you know, if you could make it crystal clear to everybody that clicked on her name on Twitch and it like popped up on screens like, hey, by the way, this is her history, I would be totally cool with that, because I think most people would be like, oh, oops, this was not a good.
That's exactly what happened to
go
me.
A different way.
I'm not joking.
I agree with you. You're right.
Are people not allowed to grow and decide their positions they held before
Spartacus,
were incorrect?
You're 100% right. People should be allowed to grow and all of that. They can also do different jobs. You're not owed this job. If you fuck up bad enough where you spread a conspiracy theory that at least ostensibly got like 40 people killed, you probably aren't allowed to do this job anymore. I think we can agree on that. I think
people
we can
try to cancel Chris Cuomo for sticking up for his brother. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that some racist chick that I'm sorry, racist woman. I don't mean to use bad terminology, but a racist woman who has spread a lot of like bad rhetoric and has gone so far as to get involved to the point where even the Italian authorities had to get involved with the stuff she was doing for the far right. Like, I'm sorry, like this is a bridge too far. At some point you have to say no. At some point you have to say we don't want these kinds of people influencing our society. It's an inherent bad.
You already have streamers on. You already
person, but like, how am I supposed to know that that's who you are and who I view you as for?
You already have streamers though that are far right or were far right and then moved to the left. And it just seems to be that the main issue is that I heard when I came in is that she wasn't a 100 viewer Andy, and so that seems to be the issue, is that she's getting views, and that seems to be the issue for everyone here. But she did
views. The issue is her actions outside of just what she has done online. She has not only said things and created stochastic terrorism online, she has also acted on it in Europe. So let's not pretend like it's just a matter of her words that she said. She actually did things too. Okay.
Okay. I want to say that, you know, going back to what Amanda was asking, like, why are we on Twitch? I came here because it's a debate panel and it is labeled as a leftist podcast. and I'm a leftist, and that's why I'm here. And when I came here, California Grizzly, who was somebody who was on often, was on the panel, and he was beleaguered. Like everybody was yelling him down. Like, what? This is a leftist podcast, and the only person who is expressing leftist views like Pat Bernie Sanders level leftist views is like embattled on this panel. And that was when I was like, I'm going to jump in and fight alongside him, so that's why I'm here and have been here. And again, I'm pulling the old man card. I remember when David Duke tried to run for president, right? And
me too.
and David Duke can behave himself, and he can sound relatively reasonable, and that's what one of the creepier things about him really is that or it was one of the creepier things about him. I'm not saying he's dead, but I'm just saying right now a lot of white supremacist views that are in line with David Duke are mainstream now, and they show up on these panels. Let's be honest. And they don't sound very different than David Duke. They're not less sophisticated than David Duke, and they are not less right wing at their base than David Duke. So the question is, they laughed David Duke out of town. Now he did better than anybody wanted him to do, but the media and everybody was like, that's a bridge too far. We're not doing like Klansman, right? Well, Klansman seems quaint, and it seems now it seems like it's spread. It's much more mainstream now. So then the question is, does platforming David Duke, like let's say Stephen Miller showed up and he was a VTuber, right? And he showed up. How would this panel react? I mean, I think they would be laughing at some of his edgy jokes. I'll be honest. And I would think people would be like, well, why don't we have him on? We could just educate him. And I think that, so the question is, that's one of these things. You think, okay, it's right wing and left wing. Are these things equal? Is everything equal? Is what I'm saying and what I'm advocating, is it harmful to people? And is what they're saying and what they're advocating harmful to people? And can you just take a middle road and that's okay? Or is that in some way greasing the skids for the Ku Klux Klan?
So you think Lauren Southern being on Twitch, right? So it's a website, right? So you think Lauren Southern being on Twitch is going to pave the way for the KKK? Really?
I don't. Is she hostile to the KKK?
She's moved away from positions and she's gone publicly.
Moved away from which position?
Yeah, she moved away.
I don't know her very well, so tell me what positions she's moved away from.
She's moved away from the great replacement theory.
The Tiki Torch theory.
There were several other topics, and if you want to, feel free to go Lauren Southern's Twitch. I'm sure it's still there. The VOD where she went over what she believed previously, and not only denounced it, but explained why these theories are actually wrong and debunking her old theories.
Okay, so I wasn't speaking specifically to Lauren Southern because I don't have that much experience with it. But I would say people on this panel with conservative views, I think, say things that are harmful and irresponsible. Now, everybody just in the last thing on Afghanistan was jumping down my throat. They think what I'm saying is irresponsible. So I'm not that complexity is not lost on me, but that doesn't absolve you of the fact that certain things that people say legitimately are harmful to people. So that's my take on that.
I think there's a certain number of people or a certain level of debater that could responsibly talk to Lauren Southern and maybe confront her and talk about some of the things that she used to do and talk about and basically have that discussion with her. I think most people in the Twitch politics sphere though are not capable of having that conversation. It's a very difficult conversation to have. And I think she had a debate with somebody. I can't remember if it was Xander Hall or somebody else, but
she debated both of them. First Xander Hall and then the Serfs.
Yeah, I think the Xander Hall debate was really just very embarrassing for Xander Hall because it was when I watched it, he was clearly outclassed. She was just way too smart for him, and it seemed really kind of pathetic. And to have somebody like somebody that's in Lauren the Southern's position, where she's got very clear ideas in her head about what she believes, and has developed those ideas over a long period of time, needs to have a more reasoned and probably seasoned voice as well. So somebody that's been around for a while and knows what they believe and is confident in it.
Somebody that's a professional. I mean, that's the thing with her. Like, she's literally a professional. Like, she
Yeah.
gets paid to do the thing that she's doing. Yeah, I guess Xander Holt technically gets paid to do what he's doing. Same with the serfs, but not in the same way. Like, they're not paid to put out as
He's paid
specific
by
of
a
a
lot of
viewpoint.
moneyed interests.
Okay, guys,
Right.
we're all being way too nice. So I'm just gonna say it. The serfs and Xander Hall are not good debaters.
That's
that debate was horrible. The debate on First Nations reparations for the schools, that was such a horrible representation of the idea that we should actually provide those reparations. I almost felt like controlled oppositions, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it did. And like that's the harm in like when you have those unequal conversations, you make the other side seem more reasonable than the positions actually are.
See, I never
because the person,
actually watched those debates because I didn't think it was necessary because I don't think Lauren Southern is important enough to warrant like watching those kinds of things. But that's why it sucks that we have people that are big that are like trying to promote her. I guess that's where my whole thing comes from.
I would say
I do agree with that, because you know what? Like, she did out debate them in that, and it was embarrassing. And you know what? We needed somebody. Don't platform her unless you're going to be able to platform her with somebody strong enough to be able to like fight back against her arguments and fight back against her rhetorical skill.
I don't think that'll matter though. I think that'll just help her, even if like it's Vosh or Destiny if he decided to actually like shit on her. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, she's going to benefit from that discussion regardless. So I don't think that
You're right,
at
because it
least
gives
as a
her a voice.
community we should give that to her. Like, but I think maybe it's already too late. Like, maybe she's already been given the the jump start that she needed. But
I kind of think that's the issue, is that it's already out there. It's kind of like, it's like when you blow the pollen off a dandelion, the shit's already done. The
right,
seed's
catch
already
them all.
spread.
You're
We're
gonna
out
miss a
there.
few.
Yeah, you're not putting it back on. You're not putting the lid back on the box.
True.
To me, it's kind of like prize fighting. Like she's just working her way up through like the lower tiers right now of Twitch politics on the lefty side. And like I said, I didn't watch the Serfs debate, but the Xander Hall debate, she was clearly
what
clearly
happened? But
outmatched
I didn't see it either. Like what happened?
For Xander Hall,
It
he
was
simply
embarrassing.
yeah, he didn't have good arguments, couldn't really elucidate his positions on certain things, and she simply had better positions, she had better talking points. If I had to guess, she probably had notes in front of her, and she probably referenced those notes. And I don't think Xander Hall did any debate prep for the show or for the debate. That's my guess, because that's honestly what it seemed like. I can't really describe it any better than that. It was a while ago that I watched it, and I only watched it once. So
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, I would absolutely agree. Like, if I ever taught this woman, I would. I mean, it would only be after like doing a deeper dive into her, right? I mean, I know of her, and I've seen counters like to her, people like countering her like those quote unquote documentaries that she put out. But like I'd have to like really dig into it, like watch a bunch of her content, see how she interacts with other people, and see like she's so she's saying that she's having some sort of shift here. It's fucking I don't know, who can tell. And I guess like, okay, so like how do we judge if this person a ship is? So like they're saying they are, right? And I think, oh wow, hold on one second, just hold on, one quick second. Hold Hello, Nick. You strike again with another 5,000 bits. Says I came back. Prime. Here's $50. Like, I think almost every one of your messages so far has just been money. Let's take a look. You've sent 12 messages to me so far, and most of them it's just been money. You've just been thank you for that. It's another, I don't know, it's really kind of you, super kind of you. Thank you, Nick, for that. So amazing. I don't know who this person is, but they seem to like me a lot, and I like them a lot too. So okay, what was I saying? I was saying Lauren, what was the last thing I said? Someone help me out.
You love Lauren? No, fuck it.
No, it's like,
oh no,
when's the point
I talked about Spartacus. Spartacus, yeah. Spartacus, I think, is not saying an unfair point that we got to give people room to grow, right? And like, and just in general, right? You'd say that about any other person. You'd give them room to grow and change. We've seen it happen before. Thank you for the other 1,000 bits, Nick. He says, "Who is the black dude with the glasses in the middle?" That's Canadian Caller. Go ahead, Canadian Caller. Raise your hand. Yeah, it's Canadian Caller. He's Canadian though, so don't associate with that guy. Moving on. I just tolerate him. Yeah. So if we say that for anyone else, and we've seen people on the right, we've seen like full blown violent Nazis, right? Change things around, come back as a as repentant, as like on the far left even, right? Saying that like they're anti-racist and they're going to help try to demolish the white nationalist movement, right? Like actually trying to get people out. It's a thing that can happen as long as that type of person.
Happened? Is there? Can you name somebody?
Yeah, actually,
I mean, you don't have to. Oh, you don't have to like name an individual, but it has happened for sure.
No, it's definitely. I mean, I've seen documentaries, and that's definitely, absolutely been the case. Like every so often, you'll hear about these great stories of people making it out of that movement. But my point is that okay? If that's the case, if we can understand that these things can happen, right? Does that mean it's happening for Lauren Southern? And if it does, how can we judge it, right? So, as it does that, people have to be watching her content like a hawk. And I don't know where she's saying she's changed, but I'm not exactly sure where she says she's landed, right? So I just don't know enough. So I'm gonna be a little vague here. But like, I mean, like, I guess like the only thing that you could do is just like watch her content, like look to see like if she's like actually dog whistling in the background, all right? Like if she's like trying to sneak in race realist points. I don't know. I feel like that's the only way that we could judge. To judge, we'd have to actually sit down and listen to her, right? Or as you're saying that we shouldn't even bother, right? Like that this is some sort of special type of evil. And let me make it clear, I'm not a fan of fucking Lauren Southern's work at all, right? But are we saying she's some sort of special type of evil that is like completely immune from forgiveness, right? And so on one second, because Nick gave more money. He says, "I am lazy and giving you money to link his channel so I can bless him too." You have a channel, Canadian Caller?
No, I'm not a streamer, guys.
He's not a streamer either. Sorry, Nick. Once again, you picked a non-streamer. But yeah, if you pick a
give all the money to Prime. I'm calling it for myself. All the money you donate to me, just give it to Prime, okay?
That's awfully kind of you. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you once again, Nick. So I want to like explore that. Like, yeah, like is she some special type of evil? Dan had his hand up, and then we'll go to Nathan. Nathan, you want to go?
Yeah, as I said earlier, that I feel like I need more time to see how she does with her kind of rhetoric and her positions on Twitch. It even to the respect for Spartacus, I get there's a double standard for certain people that we view when they change their minds, and into the process, I agree that people can change their minds, such as what was with Punter Avalon, who changed his mind over a period of 2.5 years. So, and however, I have not seen the process changing for her, as she was mostly like on hiatus when that whole change happened. To which then I have to go by the assumption that it seems like it's a business play for her position, which I can be wrong. I'm willing to. I'm very cynical to how people do policies on politics, and for me, I'm not a streamer either, so I have no much gain to even say much of this, and I too to respect. I would suggest we all do is just see how she does within the next 6 to year, if that change really did seem to happen.
So we'll.
Is she still a right winger?
We'll.
Seems so. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least center right.
Yeah, I'm not quite. I mean, I'm not quite sure. So we'll go to Nathan, and then we'll go. I guess Lorden Pohl has his hand up, and
Spartacus was up first.
Spartacus, were you? Sorry, I didn't mean to skip you, buddy. So we'll go Nathan, Spartacus, and then Lorden. But before you say anything, Nick says his words, not mine, and then donates 5,900 bits to the channel. Thank you. I don't know why you'd be so kind. I know this is amazing. He's gifted a lot. He's gifting 45,500 bits to the channel all today, all in the past few hours. It's incredible. Thank you, Nick. But yeah, I will interrupt anyone for one of Nick's donations because it's unbelievable. All right, but Nathan, go ahead. But don't know if Nick goes, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So like I don't mean to poison like the well right away, but I understand some fair points were made. You know, people can change. Okay, fair points are one thing, but stupid points are another. Okay, so the idea, I believe people could change for sure, and I think there are examples of it. You know, Hunter Avalon's the biggest example, and we saw his change almost fucking point by point. And he's done a good job as of late. Shuan Head used to be major in right-wing communities. But honestly, she just seems like a regular person who had a right-wing phase and just didn't like the SJW stuff. I get it, because so did a ton of people in 2016. But overall, she didn't talk about economics. When she started talking about economics, she was more left-leaning, and she realizes some past stuff was cringe. That seems like a natural shift for me. Okay, there are examples of KKK members and Nazis pushing that life away and becoming good people and trying to be better. So I do believe people can change. But I think it's silly when we don't look at the scenario. In the case of Lauren Southern, she wasn't just like a conservative. She wasn't just like, oh, I'm down for Trump, guys. I like Trump. She was a white supremacist who toured with other white supremacists like Stefan Molyneux, who got banned from countries like, I believe, Britain and New Zealand. She was a direct inspiration for a shooting of peaceful individuals praying. Now, personally, I'm a fan of freedom of religion. I do not like good praying people getting shot up, okay? And I got a lot of Muslims I care about. So the fact that people like Lauren Southern were promoting that bullshit is gross to me. The fact that Laura Loomer, who promotes that bullshit, is now running for Congress and has been a Republican nominee for Congress is disgusting to me. Now, with Lauren Southern in particular, I have no reason to believe she changed. She took a hiatus, and she realized the other Nazi motherfuckers are getting banned. Why the fuck would I continue this shit when I want to make money? So now what does she do? She rebrands as a centrist. Now, she's still transphobic, as far as I know. She had that debate with Hunter Avalon. But ultimately, she's just changing aesthetics. She's tweeting about like catboy, femboy dick or some shit like that. So she expects like the Twitter lefties to like be her friend or something. Like, it's just so disingenuous. Do like the people that are fine with with Lauren Southern not feel grossed out when you see disingenuous fake motherfuckers trying to get your support? Like, it just disgusts me. That's all I gotta say for now.
Oh man.
You know what disgusts me? People who won't give other people the time of day and just say,
I'll give people a chance to change.
You're sitting here saying that I don't know anything about this person. I didn't watch.
No, I do know something. I do know that person.
Stop for a second so I can talk. I let you go through your entire thing. Please let me go through my thing. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
So you're sitting here saying that you didn't see the transition, right? And now you're saying, oh, this is a fake motherfucker. You don't know that.
Yeah.
You're assuming that. You're assuming this person is fake. You're assuming the ideals this person espouses now is fake.
Facts and logic.
I'm pretty. I mean, it's not facts and logic, right? Because you can't find anything to back it up. The only thing you can find to back it up is this is what she used to do, and this is what she does now. And that's exactly what I'm saying. This is what she used to do, and this is what she does now. And you're saying, see, look, she's fake because she used to do this. And so you're not giving second chances. You're just saying she's fake as fuck.
No.
And everyone else should feel terrible for allowing someone who's fake to get their support. I'm pretty close.
Absolutely untrue. Wait, may I respond to that? Can I respond to that?
Who did the shit that she's done? Okay, she has a previous background. She doesn't just talk about things; she acts on them. Okay, and that's the difference. And we keep drawing away from the fact
I'm
that
gonna
she
continue.
actually has
I'm gonna
acted
continue.
on
I feel like I
things
let
that
other
she
people
talks
talk. I
about.
feel like I let
And
other
that's
people talk.
different.
You know,
it's stochastic terrorism
fine,
for
Jason.
one.
I just feel like I let other people talk, and I let everyone else talk to wait for my turn.
Go ahead, Sprout. Sprout?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So now I'm pretty close with Lauren Southern's producer, and from what I'm hearing from her producer is that Lauren Southern espouses the political ideals right now of something similar to Counterpoints. That's what I'm hearing from Lauren Southern's producer. Lauren Southern's producer is also known for taking down a Nazi server. So just to make that clear. So we're moving in this direction. No one's willing to give no one in this panel is willing to give Lauren Southern the time of day. And it blows my mind that this should be celebrated, not gone against. And to the idea that so I'm sorry, not close to Connor, more close to Rob Noor. So to the idea that
She should get 100 viewers.
Okay, so give me 1 second. To the idea that that Lauren Southern inspired a shooting, I'd like you to also know Bernie Sanders inspired a shooting too.
Yeah,
and it was on congressional members. Right,
yeah,
so I mean, if you're going to talk about inspired shootings,
did not inspire
shooting.
You did as much as she did, if you're using that standard.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we could. Okay. Well, let's get. Can I finish? Do this,
sure.
Nathan?
That's a very loose interpretation.
Yeah. Like we don't want to like. I understand.
You're fucking in the manifesto.
Can I finish, Spartacus? Yeah, like you're bringing up one like little things like support, like people support a certain candidate, so therefore this person is at their fault for doing so. I mean, let's just get off of that whole thing, because we could go this all day about Trump supporters killing a bunch of people to other different people who do that, and at least to say to the right of Nathan, at least to the person who did that shooting in New Zealand, she was mentioned in that manifesto. But to get to the regular point is that I think too much of us would agree, including Nathan, that we would want more time to at least see her keep on this way of her with her rhetoric and her positions, because it's just too early to see so. And I understand that it's good for her to sue, and I understand your person that we believe that someone changed, at least for you, that you're training to become a priest. So I understand where you're coming from there. But at least for us, I hope to at least give at least us more time to think about this whole position itself, to where maybe like it doesn't seem like a grift if given the time and day that she keeps on moving this position, keeps being principled to those positions, then for sure I would definitely say yes, she changed. But not right now. Right now.
Okay. So then give her that chance, right? Prove her wrong, right? So watch her streams and prove her wrong. Prove that this person hasn't changed, right? So it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Can I please respond to Spartacus? Because like there were so much dumb arguments there, it like overwhelms. I might, like, you know how Dave Rubin, his head was getting like whatever, tired with ideas. I'm
keep it
tired with
coming, my
stupid.
man. Just
But
keep it
yeah,
coming,
okay. So
Nathan.
the point. Let me address your points. Okay. So first of all, I find it funny that you're like, oh, Lauren Southern's producer says she's good. Lauren Southern's producer took down a Nazi server after she tried to fucking work for the Nazi server and only took them down because she got rejected. But that's besides the point. Okay. And personally, I like that you didn't mention their name. Kind of funny. But anyway,
you know why he didn't do that.
anyway. In all seriousness, in regards to Lauren, or the Bernie analogy. Oh, she inspired a shooting, just like Bernie inspired a shooting. Bernie Sanders advocates for Medicare for all. So you saying like, hey, I want a policy, and that's somebody, and then some crazy person shoots somebody, that's responsible on you? Are you serious? Now, in case of Lauren Southern, she pushed great what was it? Great replacement theory. The idea that white folks are gonna go extinct to scare white people. That those scary browns are gonna take your homes and take your wives. So yeah, you tell that story to a crazy ass motherfucker, and then they proceed to shoot a church or a mosque. No fucking shit.
I mean, if
yeah,
I
the
tell,
idea that you can compare. No, wait. The idea that you can compare. Oh, hey, I want people to have health care. To, oh man, them Browns are gonna kill you, is so fucking stupid to me. I'm genuinely like concerned for your mental health. I'm sorry, I'm getting ableist here. But yeah, fuck that bullshit.
Nathan,
Don't be naive.
you seem extremely disingenuous the way you're regarding me in a debate right now.
So I wanna address this one point, and I'll let you go. I'll let you go uninterrupted.
No, let him finish. Let him respond. No, you already spoke. Let him respond. You already spoke. Let him respond.
Okay, I want one point, and I'll let him go fully.
Let him go.
Okay, you're not the mod here, so let Prime decide if you want. You're the moderator.
Just
listen to you, and you already spoke.
Yeah. All right. Great. So let's go. Sprout, go.
Okay, so the manifesto that you're speaking to, the manifesto that they quote unquote Lauren Southern's was in, right? The Christchurch shooter, it was 74 pages of memes. It was shit posting to its very degree. And so like this is the insane stuff that isn't known. Like what? What you're gonna say? Like wow,
posting?
Yeah, it was
like,
shit
person
posting.
actually killed people.
Actually
No,
I'm looking at the quote unquote manifesto, right? And it's shit posting. It's exactly what this is. It's 74 pages of shit posting. You can actually go to Vox. Vox has an article about how it's shit posting. So now we can move on and say, yeah, this is shit posting. People on Twitter do it all the time. If you're on Twitter, you should know that people.
Do you believe in the Great Replacement theory?
Yeah, some people do believe in the Great Replacement theory.
Did he believe it?
Did he believe in the Great Replacement theory? I don't really give a fuck. He's a piece of shit.
It's kind of important.
It matters
you don't get to like I like individually be like, oh, I don't give a fuck.
He's a terrible human being.
This is the piece of nuance that you're missing. It's a difference between association and agitation. If his belief in the Great Replacement theory is material to him committing that violent act, then yes, we can say that she's partially responsible. Just because some other psycho happened to be a Bernie fan, Bernie's rhetoric did not agitate him to to kill anyone.
You don't know that.
Well, okay, no, I
wanted
Bernie
to Sanders say to inspire a shooting. Sorry, go ahead.
I wanted
Sanders
to say
is
this.
extremely
Does
against
it
the right
matter?
one.
So does it matter to you if, like, let's say we could tie 1-to-1 Bernie Sanders to the congressional baseball shooter? Would that then make you think that this person is tied 1-to-1 to Lauren Southern?
No, but it would at least
Then who cares?
equivocate.
Then who cares? No, then who cares? It doesn't fucking matter then.
It would be an equal standard that you're applying. That's the point.
I don't think say we could, right? Say we could do 1-to-1 with Bernie Sanders and with Lauren Southern. We're gonna make these equals, right? So take your.
If you
so
could.
I'm saying take your hypothetical.
Well, no. You're hypothetical, and I want you to own it. You said the Bernie Sanders thing. So, do you believe that Bernie Sanders is tied 1-to-1 with the baseball shooter?
And the same idea that you're going to tie Lauren Southern to this person. All
I'm
right,
asking
moving forward.
Do you believe that's the thing?
I said in the same idea that you're.
Just say yes or no. Do you mean no? Do you say no?
No, I don't think that.
Then there you go. Then it doesn't matter.
It matters because he's applying the standard. He's applying the standard, and he's saying by this standard you can apply Bernie Sanders to the baseball shooter.
Not the same.
Okay,
the
what
standard
rhetoric did Bernie Sanders put out in the world that is comparable to the idea that immigrants are coming here to take your space and you need to defend yourself?
Well, Bernie Sanders thinks that conservatives and the right wing are like a danger to America.
Okay, what you guys
Hell
are
yeah,
trying
brother!
to do is
You got
you're
people like
relating-
Lauren Southern pushing fucking great replacement theory, goofy ass motherfucker.
Kill you. He has never once said that the right wing is going to come into your home and kill you, or come into your home and destroy your family unity, or come into your home and oppress you. He never said that. All he said was that they don't want the same things that will help you. Okay, that's a vast difference. He never told people to go out and assassinate people. He never said these people are
Lauren
coming.
Southern didn't say that either. Lauren Southern didn't say that either. Lauren Southern never called out for anyone to go assassinate anyone.
Wait, so Lauren Southern will be like, Lauren Southern will be like,
she participated in shit in Europe to stop refugees. So come on now, like she was detained by Italian authorities. Let's talk about it, right?
Sure, but you can talk about all that. What I'm saying is, you're saying Bernie Sanders never said these things. It's like, well, neither did Lauren Southern.
Wait, my guy. So Lauren Southern, Lauren Southern,
her actions are an influence.
Lauren Southern, a white supremacist, does world tours with white supremacists and then pushes white supremacist ideas like the Great Replacement Theory. You don't think the natural response of people that fall for that bullshit is fear of like the foreigners? You know, like if they were watching this panel and they saw like, I don't know, I'm light skinned, but I'm Filipino, I'm Hispanic. They would say I don't belong here. Prime's an African American. They would say he shouldn't be the host. Spartacus should be. He's a good white boy. So these
are like I don't know who you're talking about or who.
Okay,
people in your
in
head.
simple
people
question
in your head.
here.
You're like, these people would say this. Who are these
simple
people?
question,
It's just
simple
some shit you're
question,
saying.
simple question. If someone believes that the Browns are going to invade their country and kill their family or hurt them or harm them, and they like identify with the white race, like, is it not natural that your idea is to resist that? And how do you resist an invasion other than killing the invader?
So
yeah, they would be afraid. Yeah,
I'm gonna go to Claris. I believe they had their hand up before. I want to try out 2B2 who jumped in here. I do want to say though that I'm kind of for Spartacus taking over. Spartacus would be channel be in good hands. Not a bad choice, right? A good white Christian man, like finally taking control of this. Kick the heathens out here. All right. So, all right. So let's go to Claris and then 2B.
Yeah. So I just want to say to, I guess, refine my position a little bit better. Spartacus said nobody here on this panel would give Lauren Southern the time of day. I didn't necessarily say that. I would say maybe some of the people on this panel shouldn't be the person to talk to Lauren Southern and litigate how the change happened and whether or not it's genuine. And basically that it would be a difficult thing to do. And I'm not against somebody doing that. I think it should be the right person to do that. And basically, if anybody here or listening gets that opportunity, just bring the heat. Fucking do your research and make sure you're prepared to talk about things in an in-depth way. Don't pull punches and whatever, but clearly she's working her way through people like us. I think people that are maybe in the lower to mid tier of Twitch politics. So yeah.
Joe Lewis, I see you out there. I saw your comment. I don't. What are you doing, buddy? Oh man.
Very true.
Joe Lewis is going hard in chat here, but we love Joe Lewis. Thank you for being here, buddy. Let's go to 2B.
Those conversations about whether we should platform Lauren Southern, right? I just want to understand, because I feel like I came in like midway into this conversation, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding like what everyone's talking about.
No,
well, yeah. Something.
More
oh, sorry,
or
Prime,
less.
go ahead.
No,
It's like should we like help her create her platform is more like where I was going with it.
Mhm.
And that seems like a lot of people in the left, the more left community is helping her create a bigger platform. I don't
Mhm.
think we should do that. We don't have any control over people that are on the right and they want to watch her shit. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why I said the whole Rob Noor thing. By the way, it wasn't in the 100 viewer thing. Like it wasn't because I was saying like that's what she deserves. It's just that's what
Mhm.
they get, and that's where she should be at as far as I'm concerned. Like that's the level of creator that I think she should be.
Okay, if Donald
Relatively.
Trump was on here, he wouldn't just be getting 100 views. If Donald Trump
Cool.
was on Twitch, he would be getting much more than 100 views.
Brad,
you see how
That's
we
the
can talk
argument.
about that
The
after.
president, no
Donald Trump
shit.
is a stochastic terrorist. Do you really want to make that equation?
The higher profile you get, the more views you're going to
Jay,
start off with.
It was 2
I think she had like
We can talk
500.
about this after.
I think she was
Yeah, I
doing
guess-
500, but I don't know. Go ahead.
And honestly, stuff like this only gets her more attention, which gets her more followers, which gets her more views.
I would say the
Yeah,
thing that
Are you
gets her
saying
more
compare
attention.
hard?
I would say the thing that gets her more attention is when certain like people, who, you know, aren't prepared debate her and they make them the left look bad. When certain like big streamers like platform her in their panel shows, you know, when you know, like yeah, that's what's boosting her numbers. And when also like DGGers seem to simp for her in the fucking chat. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Holy fuck.
Yeah, I guess for me, when it comes to these conversations about platforming and all that stuff, I think it's up to the discretion of whoever's platform it is. So if Prime wants to have her on, then he can have her on. Now, do I think that she's owed forgiveness or anything like that? No, and I don't think anyone has to give her forgiveness, even if she did change her political views. You know, I guess to me, when I think about these kinds of ideas that at one point she was so either directly propagating them or in the cohort of people who were propagating these kinds of ideas about like race realism or great replacement or anything like that. This stuff causes, in my opinion, real harm to people. You know, like even now, I'm pursuing my PhD at a very nice medical school, got offers from very nice medical schools, all in the top 20 in the US, some of the best schools in the world. And when I'm moving into my apartment, I get accosted by the police officers when I'm going to throw out trash. And that's directly predicated off of ideas that people have about people who look like me. So these ideas are not innocuous. I don't think these ideas about like whether slavery is bad or whether it's a problem that you're intermingling with people of different races. These things are not self-evident truths. We had to do a lot of work to arrive at this position. And so just like I have to inherit all of the cultural inertia of America as we strive to get through these growing pains that we have or whatever, she has to go through the same. She just has to take what is the inertia that she's generated for her life by propagating these ideas. Nobody owes you forgiveness. Nobody owes you a platform. If she wants to build up her own platform, then that's totally on her to do it. If Prime wants to platform her, then that's up to his discretion to do it. That's cool that you have changed your ways and all that stuff, but just like pedophiles can change their ways, right? I mean, they could go to prison and say they actually learned from the experience of going to prison, and they actually come out and they realize that they were wrong. They're going to have that mark on them for the rest of their life. And for most people, that's not something that they forgive. Even though you went through the whole process, you went to jail, you righted your wrongs as much as you could, you still have to bear that mark. And so if other people don't want to forgive you, they don't owe you that. Just like Lauren doesn't, she's not owed a platform and she's not owed forgiveness. And if people want to extend her that grace,
Right.
that's up to them.
And I don't think people should extend that grace. I don't think Prime should host Lauren Southern. That's my overarching that's what I'm trying to say.
You
I
know
don't think
what?
Prime should. I don't think Dylan should. Destiny.
You know what, Lord?
Vosh, any of the people.
You know what, Lord? Like these aren't your platforms.
I
Like,
know.
If
I'm just saying
one
what
of
I
these people
think.
want,
I'm
okay,
not.
just
I'm not
stating that,
commanding them to not.
No, I'm just.
What do you think I'm saying?
When I jumped on, you were upset that she was getting views. You were upset that
I wasn't
people were
upset.
talking to her.
I was trying to say that I don't think people should host these.
So okay.
You're trying to make it a me being mad thing. I could give a fuck. Like it doesn't matter to me that much. I just don't think people should host her.
Okay, so another thing about this is like relative sizes, right? And who is platforming who. So when this has come up before, people bring up the point, that my channel isn't very big. We're working on it, right? And if you're enjoying this content and haven't done so before, hit that follow button right now. Make sure notifications are on, so you know I'm going live. But The truth is, my platform isn't like super huge. Lauren Southern, like much well known. I mean, like she's a not household name, but if you're terminally online like the rest of you motherfuckers, then you all know who she is, right? Like if I talk to this person, like would I be platforming her or would she be platforming me, right? So the argument I've heard, and it's not the argument I've made before, but the argument people have said is that, well, at that point, you can speak to these people, right? You could, like, if let's say I decide to debate her, like Xander Hall style, right? I could like get ideas out there, right? And if I did it effectively, maybe push some people away from her way of thinking, assuming of course that she hasn't changed. I don't know. I'm making no judgments on that. I don't know this woman at all. But like, what do you think about that? Like, well, like for instance, if Donald Trump was on Twitch, right? He got thrown off Twitch specifically, but if he was on Twitch, right, and then he came onto my show, would I be platforming Trump, or would Trump be platforming me to literally millions of people?
It's
Trump would be platforming you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The truth is, the real truth though, and I know you're speaking to a matter of distinction.
Mm-hmm.
It is both. You are platforming him, and he's platforming you. The size, you're speaking to the size, and you're like, there's a disparity, and we can ignore it. But the truth is, no, you're engaging with each other, and that's the facts.
100%.
And that's it. And you're like, well, and then people kind of want to wash it clean and be like, well, because the size is so different, it's this or that, and it's like that doesn't actually matter. That means nothing.
100%.
So there's a kind of stepping stone effect where basically people, it seems like, especially on the right, like to pick soft targets, people that maybe aren't the best debater. So like you think about like Steven Crowder, for example, the whole thing that happened with Steven Crowder, Ethan Klein, and Ethan Klein pulled the old switcheroo on him and then pulled out, Sam Cedar. Clearly Steven Crowder was searching for a soft target and then fucking pissed his pants when Sam Cedar came out of the woodwork. He literally, he was shaking because he was anticipating that Sam Cedar was going to come on. So like that's something that, like, you clearly, if you're a match for these people, like if you have the ability to take them on intellectually and actually have that level of preparedness, by all means, if you feel like you've got the creds to do it, anybody here that's listening, go for it. I'd say, but honestly, you could just be a soft target for them. You could be somebody that they see as weak, and that they can pose you as like a weak person on the left that is just a somebody that's a soft brain.
I just want to hold on. I just want to expand on, and then I'll go to you straight to Spartacus. Okay. But I just want to expand on your point, Claris, right? And that I think people on the left, on the online left, like love soft right targets, right? They pretend like, and I mean, I have firsthand experience of this, right? So people on the left like to pretend that, oh yeah, we want like open debates, right? And bring on anyone, right? We want to hear all these voices, right? They like that idea in theory. However, if you bring on a right-leaning voice that actually knows how to make their points, right? With actually a match, and by the end of it, like still says no, like I disagree, right? Then all of a sudden watch them change. I've seen plenty of them, right? Like, how could you platform this person, right? They haven't rolled over and like surrendered like unconditionally to our big brain lefty points, right? Like, it happens all the time. So like, yeah, people just like to see the other side dunked on. Is basically what I'm saying.
I've never seen anybody declare that the Jews are trying to invade Europe with non-white people.
What?
And then switch their views to be like, and reasonably be like, oh, you know what, that was wrong. Like, I've never seen that, so I don't know what like you're trying to say, Prime. Like,
what? Because
that's what we're talking about. Is like her views. We're relating it back to the conversation.
That last statement was just in general. I wasn't really talking about Lauren. It was just a general statement about like on left. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Spartacus.
So I mean, I'm gonna give you some relief here, Clearest Live. So when I take debates, most of the times I don't even know who I'm debating before I take the debates. I will get a message saying, "Hey, do you want to debate this Friday? These are the topics." Yeah, go ahead, throw me in, and I will figure out who I'm debating after I get the topics and after I'm thrown into this group chat. Just recently on Prime's panel, I was challenged to a debate by Mr. Fanatic, at which point I took it. Okay, so like saying that the right just loves to pick soft targets. Xander Hall challenged me to a debate not too long ago. After the Xander Hall debate, Josie Rose C invited me onto her panel. Not onto her panel, onto her platform to have a conversation about my debate with Xander Hall. So like the idea that you just say the right people love to just get soft targets and just take them out one by one is laughable to me, because maybe you might have Steven Crowder on your list. Congratulations, you've got one guy. But I just
Lauren
don't
Southern's
see it.
done it as well. It's
Charlie
very clear
Kirk
that's
just
what
debated
Lauren
Bosch.
Okay.
Didn't go well.
I don't even know if that was really a debate. They were just kind of jerking each other off for 45 minutes or whatever. But yeah.
And it's kind of
I
rich to
disagree
say
with
that
that.
you don't
I
take
disagree
soft
with that.
Do you have something relevant to say?
Who are you talking to?
Panel? No, I don't.
If I could jump on, I think one of the real points I want to emphasize is like, even to the right wingers, just like, don't be dumb. Don't like humiliate yourself. Okay, like it's pretty fucking clear. Like if you asked anybody, like, hey, look, there was this person for multiple years, for like half the entire decade, was pushing this white supremacist Nazi bullshit, and then she disappeared, and then suddenly she had a change of heart, and now she's making content. And then you explain like, yeah, the landscape of internet content creation has changed to the point that you can't just be an explicit Nazi without getting some potential ban. It hurts the bottom line. So, while some people have moved to like subscription-based websites, and some people have just been banned, some people like Milo are trying to be like the ex-gay. Lauren Southern just chose another path where she's trying to rebrand as a centrist. But like, why would you believe that? People can change. I don't like this idea that I don't like people changing. I know people in real life who are conservatives, and then they change, and I was fine with that. I welcomed it. And I was friends with them while they were conservatives, because not all conservatives are fucking Nazis. Okay? That's the big thing with Lauren Southern. I don't believe like we should just be this open to like a Nazi just claiming they changed. I could be a conservative grifter right now and say I left the left, but would you believe it? I don't know.
To add to your earlier point, so I'm looking at Lauren Southern's YouTube channel. On July 8th, 2021, she released a video, Capitol Riot. Journalists humiliate themselves, basically whitewashing the events of January 6th. Does that sound like an alt-right position, or does that sound like a reform position?
That sounds like I need to watch the video to make that statement. That sounds like it's
it sounds like a position of misinformation, and misinformation should be banned.
That sounds like a clickbait title. I'd have to watch the video to actually get the position. How many people use clickbait titles?
I do.
Like, seriously, how many people use clickbait? Yeah. Okay.
do.
So I mean, if you're gonna be mad at Lauren Southern for using a clickbait title, be mad at Prime for using clickbait titles.
Okay, so I watched the video during this panel, and she's saying that most of the casualties were actually Trump supporters. It wasn't that bad. Like I said, January 6th apologia. Do you think that participating in January 6th apologia is a sign that Lauren Southern has changed?
Again, I would have to watch the video. I'm not going to.
Okay. Well, all right. Okay. So I'm trying to do this in good faith. So I'll ask this again, but like I'll try to be responsible. If what I'm saying is to be true, if you were to take me at face value, would that be a sign of her changing, or her participating in the exact same kind of misinformation that she was before?
If what you are saying is true,
Yeah.
then I still wouldn't put it at Nazi level. I'd put it there's a sign.
I'm saying not changing.
Okay,
right?
so I'm saying can I get a time to talk here? Okay, I'm glad I can. All right, so now that I can talk, if what you're saying was true, I wouldn't put it at Nazi level. I wouldn't put it as extreme as her views prior. So yes, I would see that as a sign of progress towards moving into a more centrist or position, or more moving towards the center on the right at least. So I mean, I would see that as progress. Again, comparing previous positions.
So she was a Nazi before, but now she's only kind of Nazi adjacent. Okay, got it.
I mean, how do you move? How do you move? Explain to me. How do you move?
Kind of Nazi is
Do
okay.
you just fucking
kind of
jump?
Nazi's okay. You know, that's just fine.
I'm seeing it as a sign of progress, right? Can someone make progress and still be in a bad
No,
position?
let me explain.
No,
let me explain progress. Wait, no, let me explain progress. Let me explain progress.
Is not progress.
Calm down.
Wait, let me explain progress.
I'm getting trampled by 5 different people. So if you want to tell me to calm down, just go ahead and trample me on that. On top of that, that's gonna make me not.
So
let me
try.
explain.
Oh, sorry. Someone hasn't gone for a while, so we'll try two beat, then Nathan, then Lorden. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I can say about it is like I don't care to moralize Lauren Southern and all that stuff, or I don't follow her, and I don't really follow too much of the debate culture and all that stuff. I have seen some conversations she had with Destiny where they talked about or she had a debate with somebody where they were talking about like trans issues or something. And to me, the thing that makes it hard for, I think, people on the left to be like, yeah, we should just platform Lauren Southern is that even though she's claims to have moved away from certain old positions that she used to hold, to people who are superficially looking at the kind of content she's outputting right now, there's still an aspect of it that seems to overlap with certain beliefs she had before. And even if it's like only marginally, like she's still far enough to where this is a new iteration of Lauren Southern we're looking at. In that debate she was having with whoever it was with, I don't remember, she was still taking like an anti-trans stance. And now the reason that she could be taking that could be completely different, and it may not even be inflammatory. I think she was probably just taking that anti-trans stance because of what she was convinced the state of research literature on things like hormone blockers, et cetera, are. So I don't think when she's coming at it from that standpoint that she has like malice in her heart. But I'm just trying to explain that the reticence that some people have for forgiving her is just because it's hard to deconvolute whether she has that position because she's still stuck in her ways, or she has that position because she's just more conservative when it comes to something like hormone blockers. Superficially, it still looks like a canonical Republican position that someone on the far right or the alt-right would also have, even though more moderate conservatives could still have that viewpoint. So something like that, her transformation is not so drastic that we're like, oh yeah, now she's totally on the left, and so we want to platform her and all that stuff. It's like, even if she is transforming, it's hard for people to just accept her whole cloth because some of the positions she has, you can't just be like, oh yeah, she's just a moderate conservative versus she's like alt-right conservative, because there's still some overlap between those two groups on certain issues, even though I don't know if she's coming at it from an alt-right bias anymore, if that makes sense.
Yes. All right, let's go, Nathan.
Can I? I gotta take off. I just want to say good night. It was good talking to everybody.
Have a good one, buddy. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Thanks, Prato.
See you guys.
Yeah, so I just I want to make it very clear. I'm pro change. I mentioned the fucking KKK folks that got better and are anti-racist and all that shit. And there's a variety of scenarios why someone in let's say the South in 1950 could have joined such a horrible group. But that's maybe they were pushed on it by their fucking family and they grew out of it. They got better. I think people can get better. Absolutely. But the idea that you can't read the fucking room, you can't read the surroundings, you can't make a little bit of assumptions that, hey, maybe it's not profitable to be a Nazi anymore. So now this Nazi, which Nazis are anti-degeneracy, they like tradition and all that shit, is now posting about cat boys and trying to paint herself as a centrist and all that shit. You can't see the potential that, hey, maybe this person's playing me for an idiot, But all these people that I mentioned had no benefit in changing their minds. Shuan Head could have easily been canceled by her audience. Hunter Avalon gets significantly less views. He's blacklisted from all the conservative events. These people lost something or had the risk of losing something for being open and honest and changing. But with Lauren, she essentially has the option to lose everything by continuing to be a Nazi, or get a new market and get some money. I think that people shouldn't be idiots and put themselves as like the fucking piggy banks for Nazis in disguise.
Nazis in Disguise sounds like a pretty rad band name. Gotta say.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna interrupt for Nick gifting yet another 5,000 bits. I don't pretend like I know what's going on. I'm just enjoying what's going on. He says, word on the street was Prime needed me to come in and interrupt this debate. Yes, I did. I absolutely needed that to happen. So thank you for helping us out with that. Thank you, Nick, whoever you are, you mysterious masked man. I'm assuming you're a man. For the help. All right. Thank you. Holy shit, thank you. All right. Look, Joe Lewis is about to come in for fucking hammer, but before that, we'll get Canadian caller. But then Joe Lewis is gonna. Lord and Paul, you've been jumping in and saying stuff. So we'll go to Canadian caller, then we'll go to Joe Lewis, right, for an intellectual hammer to the face. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Nathan's been saying something, and I'll try to go real positive for a second. If we want to see like an example of someone making genuine progress is to evolve and change, I think Hunter Avalon is a good template for someone who we can see making genuine efforts to be different, right? He's made a bunch of videos debunking his old content. He's explained the views he used to have, why he had them, why they were wrong, and why he thinks something else in the future. To the best of my knowledge, Lauren Southern hasn't done anything that even comes close to that. If she were, you know what, I could break bread with saying like, hey, you know what, maybe we should give her a chance. But she hasn't done the same degree of work to my knowledge, right? So if we're going to be complaining and asking how what's changed, I think that's a good example to look for.
Okay, and once again, I'll interrupt because Nick gave another 5,000 bits. Thank you, Nick. Nick, holy crap, everyone, guys, sir, what are you doing out there if you're not spamming these Prime Baker emotes, right? If the people who should not be spamming, right, are the ones who are actually too busy giving, right? So if you're going to support these people who are showing up, right, and helping out the channel, Prime Banker emotes, right? Put them in chat right now. Thank you, Sil Team Raz, for actually being the only one who's consistent with this. But yes, Captain Nate Jones is using it too. Prime Banker emotes for Nick. Celebrate Nick, who's investing in this community. We thank Nick. Thank you, Nick, so much. And yes, he says, after all this money, you better keep streaming. Goddamn right I will. Goddamn right. I'm not going to be run off this platform. All right, so let's try Joe Lewis.
Yeah, I have that Destiny meth audio, so sorry about that. I'm in Airbnb right now. Have we talked about positions?
Get closer to your mic or whatever it is.
I can turn it up.
All right.
Let me see if I can turn it up.
Hmm?
But I guess my question is, has anyone articulated positions that Lauren Southern has that she's walked back? Specifically from people who think that oh, she should be here.
Yeah, she has mentioned that she walked back on I believe the race theory. I believe that Spartacus mentioned specifically on all the people it's going to end up coming black, brown or something.
It's
great
the idea,
replacement.
it's the great replacement theory. It's the idea that basically they're trying to wipe out the white race by having and I disagree with this theory. Please do not establish this to me. It's the idea that that the white race is being kicked out because they're having sex and making children with
but it's important to say by whom, right?
I'm sorry?
Because it's not just that the white race is getting replaced. This is also a Nazi conspiracy. It's Jews that are doing this according to the Great Replacement theory, and she spread that. Just wanted to
I think Spartacus
throw that out there.
I think to Joe's point, I think Spartacus basically said the Great Replacement, she's walked that back, as well as I think he said race realism, right?
Yeah.
What is she actively doing to prove that she not only walked back that position, but actually advocates for things like multiculturalism and even something as simple, and I hate to bring it up, but just interracial families? Has she had any stances on that where she's openly advocated for, say, black farmers in South Africa? Has she advocated for multicultural families and multiculturalism in the United States? Like, what are positions that she now says that she holds as far as those things?
Are you seriously going to
Tell
say
you from
stands
the
up
one I
for
saw
black
with the
farmers in
serfs, it
South
seems like
Africa?
she's definitely not on board with anything that would equate to, like racial equality. I mean, that whole debate says it all. I mean, come on. Do we really have to? Do we really even have to go there? It's blatant
Right. I
and
mean, like,
obvious that she's not at that place yet. And by the way, I want to say, Joe Lewis, it's a pleasure to be on this panel with you.
stop it. I'm not Hollywood yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Act like you've been here, man.
No, because here's the thing, right? Where it's no secret that there are infinite black nationalist memes within like my community and within like Prime Space and other spaces. I've had to fight this idea that people think I'm a black separatist and a black supremacist for literally a year and a half. And even still people don't believe me. And then somehow, when I make one like racially identifiable joke for white people, every single white person on the planet starts reading thinking I'm crypto. So, like, are we going to hold the same standards that the Twitch politics space did on me to Lauren Southern? And we're not going to just say that
white
she's
people are racist.
like, I'm just saying, like, I'm totally down to bring in Lauren in if we keep the same type of energy that white people did to me.
Right.
I'm for it.
I'm just glad that white people are being called racist. It just so eloquently by just people on this panel. Just the white people are racist.
White people
it's
and
fucking
exclusively
hilarious.
white
I've been
people
around
try
people
to.
and
I
hear
don't
what
give
they
a shit.
say.
I don't give a shit what color skin you are. Just to imply that the entirety of white people are racist. Like it's
No,
hilarious.
I didn't say that. What I'm saying here
No, you didn't
is
say that.
that
I know you didn't say it, Joe.
a space in this space predominantly and almost I would argue exclusively white people argued that I was a crypto black nationalist and crypto black supremacist, and everything that I say about any position is just crypto leading to that eventuality that I think black people are superior and inferior to other races. That is something that people openly have said that they think I believe, and I've had multiple open discussions with individuals like Lucifer, Kobe, Are Relevant, and others to say that that isn't actually the position that I hold. So are we going to hold that same energy to Lauren Southern on every position that she's held that might be dangerous for this space?
I'm just gonna say actions matter.
No answer.
Was that question based towards me?
It was clearly directed at you.
Okay,
I mean, but it's like a broad answer.
I'm trying to. Can you ask the question again? I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm trying to watch the video that Canadian Caller is supposedly talking about. I'm trying to listen to this at the same time. Can you re-ask the question?
Are we going to go as hard on Lauren Southern on her positions that she apparently walked back on, equivalent to the same way that people did to not only myself but other black people on any type of position that's remotely close to black nationalism?
Yes, if Lauren Southerns decides to even remotely go back towards the Great Replacement theory, if she even like remotely goes back to that, then yes, done. I want nothing.
Who should be leading that charge and making sure that she's held accountable for her previous statement? Which streamer do you think is able to do that?
Samantha Banana is probably going to hold her accountable to that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I too believe unicorns exist.
I mean, counterpoints is also working with this too. So I mean, it's not like it's just Samantha Banana. And I'm assuming I know counterpoints well enough to know that if this was some bullshit, counterpoints be fucking calling it out.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
So is this going to be before or after he makes his Twitch account?
Oh
yeah,
God.
I mean,
he hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, so now his YouTube's monetized. I really don't give a shit if he makes a Twitch account. That means nothing to me. I don't know why.
That actually is completely relevant because she's going to be in this space navigating with people on Twitch.
Yeah, because YouTube and Twitch are so far and separate from each other.
You want me to
whoa. That take is actually some small butt shit. So
hold on. I'll give it to you 1 second, Joe. Sprout, you actually want me to interrupt you here because our friend Nick has been giving me a lot of money, says, okay, I want to give money to Sprout too. Can you link it? Not because he's right, but everyone else points it so bad. I don't know what he means by that. But you want... I guess because people have been jumping on you, he wants to give you money. So Nick has given like a lot of money today, like a lot of money. So I linked your channel there, and hopefully you can give a little love there, Sprout. But go ahead, Joe. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I don't necessarily trust a center righty to try to convince people that Lauren's moved from her positions. Like, that's like me going to Quarantine and being like, hey, Quarantine, you want to grill me on black nationalism to show the whole internet I'm not crypto? Shit, let me just call up Resistance Noir and Nina and Kay Swiftly. I'm sure that people will totally believe all the words that I say.
He's also okay. So one more time, Nick gets another 1,000 bits to this channel and says he tells you, Sprout, I got $50 for you. Go live on Twitch now. So
okay, I'm going live.
All right.
Let me pull up Streamlabs.
Okay.
We got a millionaire in here.
I don't know about that, but one or the other. Thank you, Nick. Yeah. So Joe, yeah, you've been fighting that fight for a long time. I don't know. I guess. I would say Joe is very hard to put in a box, right? He's not so easy. But like, I guess could you talk about like the history of these black movements, these black separatist movements, and you don't do it in a manner that's like, I guess, necessarily negative, right? Like, at like critical. It's more like, I don't know.
Well, that was exactly the issue at hand, right? Where if we're trying to talk about certain movements in a way that's objective, one thing that I wasn't doing very well in the beginning was actually being critical about these movements, and especially the ones that are much more closer to more extreme things like the BLA or even the Black Liberation Front in Jersey. But then what I found is that like Twitch really likes it when people shit on black people. So I just started playing basketball. So, like, as an example of a great example that my entire community got subjected to, we spent an entire stream covering the Moors, and it basically was me shitting on the Moors for about 4 hours and going through a 60-part TikTok about why the Moors are cringe. And sovereign citizenship and sovereign citizens are cringe. And so this would probably not be allowed on the internet.
Like which Moors? Like Spanish Moors?
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
Can I interrupt real quick? This is on behalf of Nick. Nick just gave me 5,000 bits. Thank you so much, Nick. He wanted to say, there's your money. Please make sure you tell them that I was not lying. So I just want to let you guys know that Nick wasn't lying. And thank you so much, Nick, for the bits. That's amazing, and it helps out my channel a lot. Thank you very much.
And also, what the fuck are these dumb fuck hours? I see Brittany's in chat. Like, I guess do we need any more Lauren Southern simps to come in and defend this bitch, or like?
God damn! Yo, I like you, Joe. I like you.
I'm just saying, like the Lauren Southern defense squad is not sufficient right now.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to jump in?
She's whack. It's an easy argument. Like, it's a really easy
whack.
argument.
Everything I wanted to say has been said. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I think I just have.
It also, like, the idea that she's changed is like, it's just not true. If you take the perspective just alone of like her spreading misinformation, like if that's your biggest problem with her, it's like she still does that. So I don't know.
Where's
like,
she spreading misinformation at? Please,
you admitted it earlier,
Source it.
Spartacus.
Source it.
Yeah,
when you said like when we were talking about her spreading, okay, we agree that the Great Replacement is bullshit. That's bullshit. She spread that. Now,
Okay,
when we were
right
talking
now.
about, what we were talking about was like a week ago when she made a video about January 6th.
July
And she
8th.
spread misinformation.
So I'm watching that video. It's not misinformation. What she's doing is she's going over, and is at least not as far as I've watched. What she's doing is she's going over Vice tweets, in which they're talking about congressmen. There are tweets such as, "It's my office, the building I love most in the effing world. I used to call the Capitol my girlfriend. I've devoted 15 years of my
I don't want
GD
you to
life to that building."
transcribe the entire
Said freelance
20-minute
reporter
video,
Matt
however long
Laszlo,
it is.
choking up. Now I don't want to be there.
Sprout, may I speak?
Go ahead.
My statement was that she's still engaging in January 6th apologia. Can you disprove that statement?
I mean, she's not apologizing for January 6th. As far as I've watched again, I haven't watched the whole thing because I'm trying. Okay. Okay. Then explain to me what apologia means, because evidently I'm too dumb to understand words right now. Explain to me what apologia means.
Let's do an experiment, right? So, let's say I wrote I'm just like, it's a slab chilling. I just wrote "Stop Islam." Is that something that you agree with that we should do?
No.
Sprout?
No.
No? Why?
Because I believe in the freedom of religion, and I believe that you're free to believe in Islam if that's what you want to believe in. Like, I don't think that there's anything naturally wrong with Islam.
That's a very, very left-wing position. So if Lauren Southern makes a tweet and says, "LOL, students call the police over Trump and stop Islam
I
shop."
want to pose something for a moment, Mr. Lewis. Like,
Sure.
that is not a left-leaning position. That is absolutely not a left-leaning position. That is a fundamentalist big three position.
So, like, let's see if I can do this in real time.
1,000 bits, another 1,000 bits from Nick, and someone, is that you, Joe, with the stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
like, I'll show it for you. Normally I don't allow that, but I'll do that for you. And Nick says, I got a little Sprout. Better say I gave him that money. You did say he gave you that money, right?
No, I did.
Okay.
I did say that publicly.
Okay.
He did give me the money. He wasn't lying, and I thank you so much. It helps the channel out a whole lot. Thank you very much.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you, Nick. All right. So I'll look at this print, Joe. All right.
So my question to Sprout is, I would argue that that situation that was mentioned, the idea of #Stop Islam, is racist. She's saying here that, once again, Islam is not a race.
I mean, you want to check the date on that?
Okay. Why does the date matter?
Because that's before she changed, right?
Okay. Has she articulated anything contrary to this position?
So this is before the hiatus and before the change. I'm not really sure why you're suggesting that this is still what she believes. She's not going to be able to go. I mean, she's not going to be able to go through her entire Twitter and say, okay, this. Let me just track back through years of tweets, and I'll say I don't believe each and every one of them. That's unrealistic to ask for, first of all, and second of all, this is in 2016. We're in the year 2021, and this is years before the hiatus even happened.
I love this PR. I love this. Hold on. As somebody who,
do you think that after Charles Manson's stochastic terrorism, that back then, if we had the platforms we do now, that we would continue to give Charles Manson a platform after, because remember, all he did was say things. All he did was encourage people to do something. Okay, he didn't actually do anything himself. Okay, so do you think that back then, would we have deplatformed Charles Manson?
Wait, who's we, by the way? Who you're acting like we're the ones fucking
as a society, collectively as a society, right? Like, would we have deplatformed Charles Manson? We did.
Though. It's the corporations that make
Charles
the
Manson.
Dude.
We did deplatform Charles Manson. Likewise, we should deplatform somebody like Lauren Southern.
In prison, Charles Manson. What the fuck do you mean?
Hold up. Charles Manson went to prison
for
creating a gang that killed people. Lauren Southern, as much as I dislike her standard, she's not Charles Manson. I'm sorry, she's not Charles Manson.
He never killed anybody.
No,
he encouraged others to do that.
Charles Manson. I'm sorry. Charles Manson gave people drugs and gave them direct orders to go and kill people. That's not Lauren Southern. I'm sorry, as much as you want to say that's her, that's not her. All right.
But there is something.
I don't like her. I mean,
let's do a simpler argument, right? Like, it's very likely because of how he interacts, he responds to DM on. I have a good example. You ready for this? I have a good one, which I might actually try to do. So O.J. Simpson is very active on Twitter, and he interacts with his community on Twitter. So if I send a DM to O.J. Simpson right now and said, "Hey, what are you doing on Thursdays? You want to come on the ABE panel and talk about Black issues?" Would that be a safe space for women?
Probably
not. Yeah, what the fuck do you mean? What? Like, is he gonna go
What
out
are you talking about?
That is sure.
Really, it would be a safe space for women if O.J. Simpson was on the All Black Everything panel. Can I get that? Can I get that on record?
OJ was acquitted. What do you
Did
want?
OJ murder someone yesterday or what?
Oh my.
Wow.
What
Like, what are you fucking talking about?
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm trying to be charitable with what he's trying to say. Saying that, well, O.J. Simpson did a thing in the past, right? Are we saying that people who just commit crimes in general can't have a change of heart? Can't be rehabilitated?
Or they can't be rehabilitated at all?
Yeah. Like, is it true, right? So, like, you're in a room with a person who killed someone, right? Who murdered, like, moving away from OJ for a second, right?
Allegedly.
Killed, allegedly, right? Allegedly. But anyway, who allegedly murdered someone. No, did murder someone. Got convicted, right? They killed someone that was 20 years ago, right?
O.J. Simpson didn't get convicted.
Oh my God! Stop! I'm talking about random person, random murderer X. Okay.
Casey Anthony.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Murderer X. Oh my God, guys! Murderer X, right, is in the room with you. Like, are you necessarily unsafe, right? You might be. It might be a possibility. Are most murderers, right? Like, I think most murderers aren't these like deranged criminals, right? Like, people like shit happens basically, and someone ends up dead. But it's not like most of these people are like sociopaths, right? Like violent sociopaths. So, would you be safe with O.J. Simpson? I don't know. I actually don't know specifically about him, but a person like O.J. Simpson who has committed a similar crime like O.J. Simpson, would you necessarily be unsafe? I'm not exactly sure. I don't think it's a slam dunk that you wouldn't be. Right?
I think I get what you're saying. It's just I don't think it's similar to the media equivalent. But at the same time, I would say if O.J. Simpson walked into a room, if anybody felt uncomfortable, they would be very warranted in being feeling that
Well,
way.
but he's not walking into a room. He's walking into a fucking Twitch chat. That's not the same as being in your physical room.
I got a question.
I think that's still fair
No,
too.
I'm trying to argue.
If O.J. Simpson came into this Twitch chat right now, I would feel uncomfortable. Actually,
What if that's all you see on your TV
would
in
you
front
feel
of you?
unsafe though?
What if all you saw on TV in front of you was your abuser over and over again, and that was everything you kept seeing over and over again, flashed in front of you on your TV, because they were given a platform, and you just had to continue to watch your abuser over and over again? Are you going to tell me that there aren't PTSD incidents and mental health issues that would come of that?
Let's go to Tubi, and then Nathan, then Chris.
Yeah, just getting back to what we were talking about earlier with Sproticus, I think we're just getting you have to look at the context surrounding Lauren Southern, because again, I don't think any of the critics you said, like, we're saying that she's racist or that she's a white supremacist, or maybe some people on that said that, but I've been writing down some of the things, some of the protestations people have for why we shouldn't just forgive Lauren Southern, and very few of them are about her being racist or whatever. I mean, I think Joe makes a good point. You know, if you have a change of heart and it's at the level of politics, it's not like since she's had this change of heart, she hasn't engaged with people politically. So where is the argument for multiculturalism or interracial dating or anything like that? It's not present. I looked at her YouTube page. I don't see anything even remotely related to that. But you would expect somebody who once propagated these ideas about, you know, my race is going to be replaced and that's a problem, or when we look at the mean average of how people behave, that there's these racial discrepancies, and that can be explained purely by race or whatever. You know, if you're proposing these kinds of ideas and now you have the complete opposite, and this was such a core tenet of your beliefs that you were making, you know, I don't want to call them pseudo, like they're fake or whatever, but you're trying to make your own home version of like a documentary on these issues by looking at how these Muslim people are invading this this area or whatever, right? Like, this was such an important topic to you, and yet you had such a fundamental change in your belief system. Why isn't the level of political engagement equally as voracious or equally as intense on the opposite side when you are engaging with people politically? Again, she has had debates about the trans rights stuff. She's had the debates about the the Canadian burial or mass graves. She's engaging politically, and yet I'm not hearing these opposite arguments or these more central median arguments. And again, it's hard to we're running up against this problem where you can't know what how authentic people's claims of changed opinions are or whatever. So what we do know is that the impetus for her switch seems to be like she wanted to go back to school, and you realize that she probably wants something more like a journalism job or a job where she could be like a news anchor or something like that. Well, you can't really have those beliefs if you want to do that. So I'm not saying that it's impossible for her to make a genuine shift, but
Wait,
you
what do
have
you
to
mean you
understand
can't have
that
those beliefs? As if Fox News fucking anchors don't exist? What do you mean by that? You
They
can't have those beliefs.
shouldn't. It'd be great if they
Okay.
didn't.
I mean,
They do,
like people,
Got
they,
him.
they,
But
they do, but people like
God.
Tucker Carlson are very good at threading the needle about having those beliefs, but doing so in a way that is plausibly deniable.
Okay, well, regardless, she doesn't know that she's going to end up at Fox News or whatever. So, assuming you're going into the job market and you want to remain marketable to as many people as you possibly can, even if you're only sticking to conservative news networks, having those kinds of inflammatory beliefs is surely going to limit your application when you apply to most places. So, I would imagine for her, it's a professional move. There's nothing wrong with that, but it makes it hard for you to make the case that this is purely, I had a change of heart and all that stuff. And that's not unique to her. This happened with plenty of other people. So, and again, she had these, and part of the problem that people are having on this planet with just forgiving her is the egregiousness of these ideas. I'm not one to like moralize people's ideas. I don't tell people how to respond if they start yelling at me and all that stuff. I really don't care. It does not offend me. You're not going to make me cry, whatever. I really don't care about the nature of your response. But these ideas that she's talking about race realism, great replacement, etc., these are ideas that have tangible effects on people, and it's creating this social milieu, this social movement of people who also believe these ideas, and it has the potential to undo what have been several hundreds of years worth of effort to try to get us to the place we're at now, which is getting less focus, putting less emphasis on people's race, even though it's not completely gone. So there's this movement of people that are trying to undo that work, and vigorously so, and she's taking a part of that, and that has real repercussions on the lives of people like me who are at the brunt, who receive these kind of ignorant ideas thrown at them about our intelligence or about anything like that, when I'm pretty sure I'm probably in, maybe Pisco's in a better university, but I'm probably in the best university out of everybody here. So it's just like this kind of stuff, it's not so easily forgivable, and it's not about Lauren Southern is unique. This is just the nature of people. You don't just readily forgive people when they have a body of work that attests to something particularly egregious to your sensibilities. So to me, there's nothing really special about Lauren Southern, and I don't think this is really predicated off her being racist or anything like that. It's just, this is the nature of people. I disagree with your politics. You've created this body of political work, and now it's difficult for you to just switch, especially when you are so vehemently engaged with with these beliefs and this political discourse.
Well, yeah, but how do you counter those ideas though? By completely platforming her, or do you actually fucking argue and engage with those ideas?
No, you have to.
She actually has to change her ideas. She actually has to change her ideas, and that's the problem.
No, she doesn't.
She hasn't really fully changed her ideas.
I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the video of why I left and why I'm back, but maybe it will lighten some minds here as to why she left and why she's back. Enlighten.
It sounded like you said lighten.
Okay.
It did sound like you said lighten.
I disagree that it's just that she has to change her ideas individually. It's that
Let's
we have to
enlighten your
fucking
minds.
counter her ideas as a collective, which is what they did.
Don't
Did
have
you
to
guys see when
counter
she
her
debated
ideas.
the
She already
Smurfs
saw the writing
and all of
was on
them?
the wall when it came to her.
Hold on.
That's such a privileged take.
Wait, did you just say that the Serfs did a good job of countering her ideas?
What?
No, I didn't say that. I said that at least they were engaging with them and making an attempt at countering them.
Yeah, because
The
Lance
Serfs
recognizes
they buried the left in that fucking debate. They were horrible.
Yeah, but the thing is, the serfs give it up to Lance because he at least recognizes that black people are not going to take this fight to Lauren Southern. So I would argue that Lance is using his privilege in a way that a lot of Twitch streamers should probably do if they have a platform of his type of size, where you don't want to hold these people just like, oh, like you say that you are this thing, you're no longer this thing, so I guess we can move on. Like, no, like pin these people on the things they said in the past, pin these people on what their actual position is, and don't let up. But the thing
He
is
didn't
that
though. That
content
was the problem with
He
Lance.
right.
did at the
Well, that is the problem, right? So we have to like make sure that like although we need to have people fighting this fight on the behalf of those who can't, and this is where privilege comes in, we also have to recognize that sometimes people fuck up. Like for God's
Yeah,
sake,
and,
for God's sake, Xander Hall debated
right?
no,
You don't
for
know
God,
what you're getting into sometimes. You get into some muddy waters, so that's true.
yeah, like
The
for God's
ones who
sake,
have to police Lauren Southern are gonna be white
tried to have a debate with Lauren Southern about her dumbass book, and that book looked like it never was opened, and Xander Hall just bought it. It's like, you dumb fuck, and then she fucking basically blue balled you in waiting for her to get her shit set up, and then you didn't spend any time in your community trying to like navigate what your argument is. We can go back to that VOD. He just sat there
You
with
can
his
even
thumb up
ask your
his ass,
chatters,
like interact with the chatter, say like, here are my
and-
arguments about the book. Here are the things I'm going to say about the book, and then Lauren just wrecked him, and then it's like, Jesus Christ, like
because both Lance and Xander Hall fell into the major trap, which a lot of people do when you're dealing with white supremacists or neo-Nazis, which is the ideas on their face are so fucking stupid, it's so illogical, it's just lies, that you imagine that the person that you're dealing with is an idiot, and therefore.
Well, and the other thing is they always want to
Let me finish. Oh, let me. Oh, shut up. Hold on. Do you not hear me? Excuse me. Do you not hear me? I said stop. Stop. Thank you. Veggie, finish your point.
When you go into these debates with someone whose ideas are that stupid, you believe that they're that stupid. So you go in without any prep, without any foresight, without any plan of attack, because you imagine that Lauren Southern is just as stupid as those really ridiculous ideas, which now, since she's made the outward pivot to say that she no longer believes them, is going to be able to come up with some at least coherent arguments. I still don't believe that she has done the genuine work. People say that you can just come out and say, I no longer believe what I did. But like for the centrists and the right wingers on the panel, I would say if I, as a white guy for 4 or 5 years, said we should kill all white people, that white people are the greatest threat to mankind, that white people are singularly the cause of the downfall of X civilization. And then I said, I disappeared for a while. I came back. Hey guys, I got a kid. I'm a centrist now. I don't believe all that stuff about white people. I think that we're all good. We should just move on from here. Would you feel comfortable allowing me? Would you feel comfortable allowing me into your spaces without being like, dude, have you like done any work to be like, hey, all that thing that you said about white people are terrible is like bad, and like you should not believe it, and like I'm sorry for the damages I did.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're comfortable, dude. What are you talking? She's
Well,
gonna be
what
on
do you
here
mean it doesn't
regardless
matter
if
if
you're
you're
comfortable.
comfortable?
Because it
topic that
fucking
we're talking
doesn't.
about.
She's
Would you
gonna
feel
be on this
comfortable
fucking
allowing Lauren
platform
Southern back into
regardless
his
of whether or
space?
not you were comfortable. So you have to kind of deal
Then
with it,
leave
right?
the conversation
that's a
because we have
stupid
nothing to
argument.
add.
The argument is
But
whether or
it's
not
true.
she's
I
been
don't give a
out into
fuck.
these
I'm not
spaces.
making an argument, motherfucker. I'm stating a fact.
Yeah,
She's gonna
you're
be
just
on this
saying
platform.
like, oh, this whole thing doesn't matter. Then leave. You don't have to be.
No.
Yeah, dude, if you think it
No.
doesn't matter, this entire
I
point
won't.
is whether or not we should have her
Just
on.
disengage.
Oh,
What's
she's
the
coming on
point?
anyways. Why have it?
Is
You've made
or
great
is she
points.
not gonna
Get
be
the
on
fuck out.
Twitch?
Either way, I'm probably gonna have to leave. It's 4 a.m. where I'm at. I need to get some kind of sleep tonight. So I wish I could stay on here and talk more, but I'm gonna have to get some kind of sleep.
Have a good
So
one.
I will talk to you guys
Yeah,
later.
sure. Thank you.
Nice,
Thanks for
Spark.
being
Good.
here.
Sports, bro.
No
Matt
problem.
Gates Jr.
But,
Love
go ahead,
Matt
Nathan.
Gates.
Make your point.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Me.
Yeah, you're Nathan,
Yeah. Okay.
correct?
Yeah. So I was like, ignore that guy. Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, I wanna politics is a lot of analogies and they're usually bad analogies, but I think I have an analogy in mind that is reasonable for this discussion. So like, let's just say hypothetically, you had a person and they like ate a baby. They eat kids, okay? So you don't let them near a school. But then like after a year they take a little like break from, society, and then they come out of their hole and they say, "Guys, I changed. I don't eat babies no more. Are you gonna let them be an elementary school teacher? You know, like it's probably not a good idea. And I want to put that to scale. Obviously, like eating babies is some scary ass shit. You obviously don't want people to do that. But guess what? White supremacy, the pushing people to fucking like shoot up churches, shoot up mosques, going on fucking boats to stop refugees from entering the country. What the fuck do you expect to happen? Like, do you expect them to sink? Like, the main point. I'll try to stop soon. Essentially, like, yeah, some things are really fucking harmful. I consider like one person directly harming somebody, like murdering somebody, enough reason to prevent them from like, I guess, deplatforming them, canceling them, not letting them on to school. And yeah, maybe Twitch should consider not letting white supremacists on their platform, even if they claim they're not white supremacists no more.
So I mean, maybe they should, but that doesn't mean they're going.
And before
We
you say
have a
that's
person who, like, here, like, I'll give you two examples. The first one is pretty, I would hope, very easy, and the other one's a bit more complicated. So J100 is a former, well, he still streams on YouTube. He has a clip that is readily available everywhere that he says, and I'm quoting, "I don't give a fuck about European Jews and the Holocaust." Would you feel comfortable in a space talking about Jewish people and anti-Semitism with him in that space? Or hell, even talking about Israel and Palestine?
if you hadn't done a shit ton of work to walk it back, no.
Okay, cool. So would you be comfortable with a black person on a panel saying that black people are genetically superior?
I
wouldn't
like
think
it,
that
but
the
I just
honest truth
call it
is
fucking
that
stupid, and
everybody
then
that's affected by whatever you're talking about should be involved in whatever panel that you're
Why
on.
shouldn't you engage with his ideas, Omni?
wait, what?
Why shouldn't you engage with his ideas if he thinks
No,
black
I
people are
would.
superior? You
Yes,
should
I
argue with them.
absolutely would engage with his ideas. What are you
Really?
talking about? That's
Call
what
him
I just
stupid,
said.
laugh.
Wait,
Yeah,
somebody-
no, I
So
make
that-
arguments against it as well, but I'd also call him stupid.
So-
But that doesn't mean I'm not engaging just because I fucking
That
throw an insult.
happened twice, 3 times actually, and this individual has been allowed on the space multiple times. So I'm glad we're seeing where the lines are. That's cool.
What you're talking about? The what's his name? I don't
Prime
remember.
is Legend. His name is Prime is Legend, and he said on the All Black Everything panel, a panel that I was on, as well as Mad Aladdin, Fanatic, and a few others, that he said that black people were genetically superior to white people. And then, despite the fact that that panel, I warned that if we go down this rabbit hole, it's going to be a content stream. It ended up being a content stream, and despite all of that, he's still around, and it seems like his position is the same and has not changed.
Yeah.
So-
Oh well, he's something to deal with. Like,
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, literally, you said it to me like the same thing like 2 days ago.
So, is that something that you tolerate? Like an individual who openly on the internet essentially is bordering a TOS violation, just allowed to navigate on the platform like that? Is that something you're cool with?
yes, dude, you can come on here right now. I'd fucking chill with him.
I
Dude.
think
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's the ownership of the platform and what they choose to do with it. But ultimately, I think morally, we need to consider whether or not what we're doing is divisive or unitarian. You know, and we spend all this time trying to fucking cut each other up, man. Like, at what point do we say, hey, dude, like this kind of divisive nonsense really is like causing more gaps than it is bridges, and we're dying over it. Like,
But it's not
people are
necessarily
literally dying over it.
It's not necessarily being divisive. Look at Hunter Avalon. He was right wing. He made stupid ideas. He put in a lot of work. He deleted his old videos. He made a bunch of videos explaining why his old videos are bad, why you shouldn't believe that, yada yada yada. He put in the work. You know what? He's now accepted in center and left to center circles now because he actually put in the work. If Lauren Southern was willing to do the same, sure, have her on the panel. But just having her on while she's when she's tiptoeing around the ideas that she used to have is just sort of playing right
That's
into
my
her
point.
hands. Why should we give her a freebie on that?
I'm gonna push back on Joe saying I don't think that we should have racial supremacists on the platform because they paint a certain image of the Black movement. There's so few of us, and that we're creators in the space, right? Where people are looking for the worst possible example to take in and say that, yep, that's what every Black person thinks. And optically, I would not be comfortable posting him on my platform if other people
It's
choose
a
to.
Fox News boondoggle.
So I'm just curious. It seems like there's several people on this panel that feel that like they're maybe capable or intelligent enough of taking on Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern calls you up tomorrow, Nathan, and says,
Yeah, sure.
"Hey, I want to debate you. I saw you last night on Prime's panel. Let's have a discussion." Are you going to take that discussion? Or are you going to give her the platform?
Well, the thing is, my YouTube channel has like 80 subscribers, so I don't even know if that would be considered platforming. But like, yeah, so I mean, I would be the one getting platform, and I would do what I would try to do. And look, let me throw a bone to the DGGers in chat, okay? I really like what Destiny did back in when he initially debated Lauren Southern way back in the day. He fucking humiliated her, and I like that shit. So the point being, if you do engage with bad people, you should be ready to demolish them, and that's the only responsible way you can go on their platform. If Vosh wasn't like a good debater and then he decided to go on Charlie Kirk or on Tim Pool's show and he got wrecked by Charlie Kirk, I wouldn't want him to go on Charlie Kirk's show, even though technically or Tim Pool's show, even though that would be platforming Vosh, but he makes the left look bad. If I found myself in the position where I could look good, then yeah, sure, I go, especially because I'm smaller. But if I'm in the position of like a 1 million subscriber channel, then no, I'm not going to bring Lauren Southern on my platform.
Right. So, but you're a smaller creator. But that's kind of my point, is that those are the types of people that she picks. And specifically not just smaller creators, but people that she feels.
Wait, is the Surf a small creator?
Compared to Lauren I'm making a point. But people that she feels that she can take down easily as well. Somebody that she feels is a soft target as far as like a debate opponent.
Yeah. So like, look, that's why I think the level of skill plays into it. You don't want to be that. That's why, like, if you're like some unprepared college student, like, that doesn't look at politics, but just has a basic understanding, I would not suggest going on one of Steven Crowder's Change Your Minds. But if you're Sam Cedar, go ambush Steven Crowder.
It wasn't the one kid who like had like an iota of information that went on Change My Mind, like the one segment that Steven Crowder like does not let see the light of air.
You see, he knew his shit, and that was good. That was a good move on his part. So good for him. You see, that's the exception. You can go talk to bad creators. You just better be willing to destroy them.
Well, my problem is with bad creators is that they do that. They're willing to create bad rhetoric, but they create that bad rhetoric, and then what they do is when they have a counter argument that is better than theirs, they edit it out and they diminish it. It's again another situation of manufacturing consent on their end because they have the production power in it. I hated the fact that Vosh did that debate with Charlie Kirk and Tim Pool. You know why? Because part of it was they debated reparations without a black person there, and I feel like they should definitely have representation, number one. Number two, he took that stupid picture at the end, and it just was like I love Vaush. Like, I have mad respect for him in all cases, but it's like, what the hell, man? Like, these are people that really want to undo like the goodness in the world, and you're like shaking hands with them and shit. And like,
okay, so like this is
maybe this shouldn't be a big deal, but it kind of is to me.
Okay, so to my audience, thank you all for being here. If you're just surviving here and been enjoying this content, hit that follow button right now. Hit that follow button. Make sure notifications are on, because I do this 6 nights a week. Don't you want to miss out? Don't want you to miss out on all that we can offer you here. So hit that follow button right now. Thank you all for being here. Exclamation social also to hit up my social media. Exclamation social. Follow me on Twitter for channel updates. Discord is the heart and soul of this community. We do everything in Discord, so jump into our Discord. Don't want you to miss out, right? On all the conversations we're having here, we do everything in Discord. And YouTube is where you'll find the VODs. You won't find them here, you'll find them on YouTube. So subscribe, like, and comment the videos you find there. We'd love to have you. All right. So we're going to raid someone, and we'll be back on Monday. Of course, we'll be back on Monday with the Reverie, but we're gonna raid someone I haven't ever raided before. Oh, thank you, Mogwai, for the last minute sub. Thank you, Mogwai. It's awfully kind of you. We're gonna raid someone that I haven't done before, but who stopped by the panel the other day. Hopefully, this will be good. They've got like a fucking. They've got a wait screen on. Okay, so like, give them a second. They got a wait screen on, and so hopefully they'll be back in a quick bit. So don't run away immediately from them. But it's Superpower Broadcasting, who came here the other day. They were nice. It was very fun having them. Like, I want you to spam the word bro, BRO, in the chat when you get over there, again and again and again, and again, and yeah. Well, I know we'll see you next time. And so I just gotta.
Super. Thanks for having me on, Prem.
Absolutely. Just waiting for this timer to go. All right, and bye.